To the underworld, one nation underdog there, which a stand alone, a face in the crowd, unsung against the morgue. Hey everyone, how's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez. I am coming at you today with a VeVe, OMI, little bit of Definity update video. Guys, if you're new, welcome. For not, welcome back. I love y'all. Everyone say hello, Dachi. Hello, Dachi. Commenting, liking, and subscribing is a free way to help support the channel. Non-free ways are Patreon, smashing that super thanks button down below, super chats as well. You know the deal. Before Mr. MC1 gets here, I want to go over a little bit of Definity. Shout out to them for sponsoring the channel. It is my second biggest bag. I was not worried. I was under the illusion that it might have become my biggest bag, and it still might, but OMI has since run, and we'll get into OMI in a second. But why am I talking about Definity? Well, here's the monthly recap for November. Trading results. While continuing to optimize our margins and seeing a significant uptick in trading post the Trump election win, November was the biggest trading month in terms of both volume and revenue in the history of the business. Then you have client onboarding. In November, we increased the number of clients onboarded to our platform by roughly 8%, meaning we now have a total of 150 onboarded. Of these, around 80 make up our primary cohort who are trading regularly with us with significant volume. We currently have another 270 clients in our pipeline. Jesus, man. Then you have platform development. We've been busy developing a graphical user interface, or GUI, for the small cap business operating out of Meridius. This has been a sandbox testing phase through most of November and is now in the final stage of testing. Once this is live, it will allow significant efficiency improvements in trading. In particular, it'll allow customers more autonomy and reduce the operational workload of trade execution. Then you have regulatory concerns as well. At the start of the month, we presented at Jersey Finance in the Digital Age. This conference was organized by the Jersey regulator plus key stakeholders with the aim of engaging and educating the asset management community of Jersey with respect to digital assets. This was an excellent opportunity for us to raise our profile on the island. In particular, by deepening our relationship with the Jersey regulator, we can help support and steer the evolution of the industry from a legal and regulatory perspective. This, in turn, offers businesses development benefits, as having a close relationship with the regulator raises our profile and affords us more credibility with asset managers. Seeing us closely aligned with the regulators will give them more confidence to engage with us, as any doubts they might have about our offering from a compliance perspective will be assuaged. And you have partners and business development. Gaming Repo and Bitline, the proof of concept of Gaming Repo product, was successfully implemented over Thanksgiving, the small cohort of 6 clients in 2 USA casinos. I don't think they've said which ones or which states, but all data has been shared with the respective gaming commissions, and we are awaiting final approval to commence rollout. Then you have Fireblocks. In November, we also formalized our partnership with Fireblocks, the largest provider of institutional self-custody solutions in the digital asset space. We fully intend to remain custody agnostic and develop close relationships with all of the best custody providers in the space, both established and upcoming. Nevertheless, having a close relationship with the industry leader is clearly very positive and will instill confidence in clients and partners. Mr. MC1, my man, how you doing?
Hey, Randy, how's it going? Hey, everybody.
I'm doing all right. I just have just one more thing to say about EY.
Keep rolling. We'll chat when you're done.
All right, EY FinTech Growth Program during November. We participated in the prestigious EY FinTech Growth Program. This was a series of 6 workshops covering 12 important topics for fintech scale-ups, including tax, legal, international expansion, and regulation. Having EY as our auditors, and hence the EY brand associated with our own, is very powerful. And this, we believe, will help to open doors and accelerate things as we move into scaling. In fact, this relationship has already started to pay dividends, as our onboarding to a number of large liquidity providers has been fast-tracked due to our association with EY. I'll go over the rest later. Mr. MC1, how you doing?
Hey, doing good, man. Randy, thank you for having me on the channel.
Of course. Always welcome to have you. So we have a bunch. So on the title, I said VeVe affiliate tease. OMI runs again. And then there's, did you see the new Sabretooth ad? They haven't posted it on X yet, only Facebook and TikTok.
I just briefly saw it. I didn't go through the whole thing. I will. I've been a little busy, I was kind of preparing something, but looking forward to it, man. What did you think of it?
Oh, it looks so cool. It seems that every newer advertisement that they have like this looks so much better. I don't know what type of graphics card they're using, computer they have, but it is absolutely bananas. And I get speculating here, but the areas around it, like you see Sabretooth, but he's like in a cave and it's snowing, and then when you still saw like Peter Pan, there's like all of these different areas around it. I am probably going to be wrong when saying this, but I think that in some way, even if it's not readily available, I think that those could be areas in the VeVeVerse. And I'm not saying that specifically, oh, this is like Marvel, and it's just a random area and they're happening to use a Marvel NFT on there.
Yeah.
Do you think that's possible, or it'd be like, Randy, we cool our jets?
Well, I mean, I haven't seen the ad fully, so I don't know, but the VeVeVerse is very flexible and customizable, as you can see from the stuff that Tails and Falcon and Energy and a bunch of people have built. They're just amazing. The creativity is incredible. It's just like building a house and building interiors and lighting, and it's got a lot of flexibility in it. But yeah, I hope to see that, man. I hope to see that.
There's a lot. So there was I don't know if you've noticed, in the last week, there's something called TIRV, which is a small exchange. There's Aerodrome, which is a small exchange. And then we found out earlier today that KCEX began futures listings with OMI, and you're able to go and do that at like 20x leverage. I think MEXC has that as well. And I don't know if the market's responding positively because of the incredible words given by Ben yesterday, or it's these new exchange listings, or just as finally catching up. But we're up 27% on the day.
Oh yeah, I didn't see that. I knew it was up till about 6, but I didn't see the 7.
Yeah, this like just happened.
This is,
it's like
as soon as you
came on board, as soon as you came online, someone just put in like a big buy order.
No, but see, the price moving in a sudden manner is not the stuff that OMI is really for, right? The OMI is really about the long-term value creation through the VeVe ecosystem, through other things that are being built, and we don't need to go over all of them. But so this is nice. It's interesting. I think there's a lot of crypto that has pumped in different places, and so it just you just have to kind of ride this along. Today it'll be up, tomorrow it'll be down. Net, if it goes up, that's great. But I really would like to see like a sustained growth in OMI, both in terms of the number of people that hold it, the uses for OMI, the amount of OMI that gets used by each of the users in each of those applications, and obviously the liquidity to support that, and all the burns and things like that. So when I look at OMI, like I didn't buy OMI. I picked up OMI a month back when it was 0.00027 or 28 or whatever. 10 million of it there. I have another 40 at 0.00455 or something like that. And so, do I care? Like I've doubled my money, tripled my money? Honestly, I don't. I mean, for me, it's more a function of seeing the long-term growth in OMI. And I don't want to put a number out there, but I'd like to see it move materially over the next 3 to 5 years. Obviously, you don't have to wait 3 to 5 years to see all of it, but it'd be nice to kind of see it now. But anyway, Randy, I mean, it's good to, these smaller exchanges and stuff is good. But maybe the more critical topic is, why do we not, I saw that Jeremy post, right? Why do we not have major exchanges? Why don't we have a listing on major exchanges? And I saw I read the different theories, and Jeremy's a very bright, sharp guy, right? Very experienced as well. And when you sit where where he is, and you have the visibility and the voice that he has, those sound like the right things, but I don't think they're the right things. Not enough money to list on exchanges and that type of stuff is not the real. I don't believe that that's the real reason. It's my belief that there is something, that VeVe is working through. There's some rumors in the market and stuff like that. I don't know, I don't know for sure, but it's my belief that they're working through something, and it makes sense to do all of these things after they've worked through whatever they're working through. Like David has, what does David have? 30 billion OMI, is that right? Or 40 or
Correct.
30,
yeah,
right?
30.
And Dan has 30 or something like that. And
yes.
Some of the other people on the, around in that ecosystem have the same. So they have a lot of incentive to make this token grow. But at the same time, they're not a hawk to a girl who are going to announce something and then it flashes up and then it flashes down. And everybody, like the early guys make a lot of money and then everybody else is howling. But some people are rich and happy.
If they would have done that, they would have did that 4 years ago.
Yeah,
they wouldn't wait till that.
They're here, and if there's anything that you would sort of read into it is, one is they're here. So many years later, they've had a number of lawsuits. They've fought through the lawsuits, right? Through all of that, they've actually, built out this OUP, base OMI, other exchanges. It's not like there's nothing, like these guys are just sitting there. They've done stuff. They've done a lot of different things. And it's my belief that they're rational people. When you have 30 billion OMI, like if I had 30 billion OMI, think about it. Like, why would I want to not, drive that to the next level? I mean, I'd put everything into it, man. Like, I think they have a bigger opportunity with OMI than they do with VeVe at this point. Easily. Given where, the token and stuff like that. And although VeVe has sort of grown more and it's sort of the main thing now, my belief is that VeVe becomes like a stepping stone for, OMI. And if that OMI gets onto all these major exchanges and it's got all this utility and the burns and the NFT and the digital market picks up and, wearables kind of start integrating, NFTs and digital stuff into it or AR into it, Phygitals start picking up steam. And so those are sort of accelerators to me that I'm watching out for. And it's no guarantee that any of those things will happen, right? We've seen it. So let me pause there, man. Like, I think that Jeremy's off target here. Jeremy needs to pick up the phone and call David or send him a text message. And, I don't think David will, Jeremy's not an insider, I don't think. So I don't think David will. He's
if he was, I feel like he wouldn't need to ask this question.
Yeah, you need. Yeah, that's kind of. So Jeremy definitely not inside. We know more than Jeremy does, right? We always hear and see in the market and what people are posting and stuff. But listen, I think Jeremy should just get on the phone with David or send him a message. Hey, David, where are you? What's going on? And David probably will give him a response that at least says it's not those two problems.
I would like to point out that it is not me that's telling people to go and shoot David a message because he's very busy. Just like David, if you're listening.
You're going to flash David's phone number or his email ID now?
Oh, God, please no.
No. But I'm a believer in OMI. I'm not as disappointed, I guess, as others, but I would have liked the token to be at a much higher price point. I would like to have seen the token, I would have liked to see VeVe much more progressed. But then again, the market is the market. We'll talk about VeVe, I want to talk about the whole new user growth and all that stuff, man. But let's talk about keep talking about OMI for a little bit more. But I would like to see, the whole collectible space improving, Phygitals, bringing new people into that space, growth in that space from users and things like that. I would like to see OMI more tightly integrated, more exchanges, more applications, more burns, more community engagement with OMI, and also more executive, communication on that. And, they're not stupid. Just trust me, they're not stupid guys. If they would love to communicate. I'm sure they'd love to communicate. And when the time's right and when they can, they will communicate about various topics. And but yeah, so but I bought. I put my money where my mouth is. I'm not telling anybody to buy anything. Each one should have their own theory and hypothesis and whatever they do. I have a lot of other coins. I typically stay away from meme coins, but I've got a lot of other stuff. I've got Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, Solana, and then like probably the stuff that I have is stuff that you and I bought after chatting with you, Definity, Bumper, or Bump, or whatever. I don't know what they do, man.
But good stuff.
Just a little bit of all those things. A little bit of fun for the ride kind of thing. And then I also, I'm all into stocks and into other things, investing in quantum stocks and things like that. So I'm diversified, and I'm willing to wait on OMI, and I'm enjoying VeVe basically. So
yeah, both are a lot of fun. So speaking
yeah.
of which, you know, obviously David being now CEO or co-CEO of VeVe, but still being
Yeah.
CEO of Ecomi, he did make a post yesterday saying, "Thank you all for your incredible support, especially to those that joined us for the Epico drop, which we wound up getting a couple of things." And saying, "I know I've been a bit quiet lately, but rest assured, I've been hard at work building and creating behind the scenes." Now, obviously, a lot of what he does is licensing stuff. He's very busy this month because of other things. But what do you think that he's building? What do you think that they're teasing? I mean, Ben's had these teases with teeth, and he put saber tooth under that. What do you think they're doing? I mean, they're all for different drops. They're all for different things. I don't know if they're different licenses or different things under the same license.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I really don't know. So let me just say Pokemon. I don't know. I'm just guessing. Might as well, right? If you don't know, you might as well guess.
Yeah, I don't.
Bloody hell. If David or Dan or Ben are watching, they at least know what the hell we want, right? I don't know. I really don't. But listen, comics, they have teas, right? We've had some indications from them that watch out for comics. So my sense is there will be comic burns, right? It's just natural. There's so many burns. There's collectible burns.
Well, yeah, they pretty much confirmed that. They put that fire symbol next to the comic.
I think that's a given. So, but the question is, what shape does that comics burn take? Is it going to be burn? First of all, first question.
Oh, all right. So I have this idea then. VeVe Comics had a repo. I don't know why VeVe Comics did this. Maybe my collector. I don't know if he has access to that one, but they had reposted a video where I think Ken and Ryu are like doing, like they're street fighting stuff in AR, and VeVe Comics reposted that. I was like, okay, that was interesting. But if we're talking about fighting stuff, you have the teeth. Okay, for Sabretooth. And what else do we have? We have the duck. That could be Howard the Duck. That knows duck foo. You have the cat. The cat could be like Chitala, like Black Panther, Black Panther. And then you have the banana. And I guess like on the Fortnite stuff, there's a Wolverine version of a banana. So maybe there's like this fighting game that they're working on, or I
don't know, man. You've got some pretty wild guesses there. I've got like the more safer, like they probably, if you know VeVe, they're going to do many things, right? So one of the things, probably comic kind of burns. The question though I have is it old comics being burnt? Like, would we have the opportunity to burn old MC1s, Fantastic Fours, ASM, all the 60,000 runs, right? Or the 45,000 runs. There's one ASM is like, ASM 14 or something is like 70,000 or something, right? So those, is there a way to burn some of those to get something really interesting and unique that appeals to people so they'll actually buy more to burn? And then burn to burn, right? So burn something to get something, and then burn that stuff to go get some more. So you keep burning a lot along the way, right? Like that would be great. But separately, if they also have new comics where they have burns built something similar to the way they're doing collectibles now, that would be pretty amazing too. So the way they've done Assassin's Creed, the way they've done the other one, right? So the Punisher drop. So seeing that in comics would be very interesting. And then the final one, man, this is like a personal plea. I would love to see a 3-dimensional statue of the Human Torch. I would love to see.
Why him out of the Fantastic Four?
That's like the most iconic, right? It's the first comic in Marvel Comics 1. It's one of the most iconic characters, the earliest character. It's literally the first story in the first, comic kind of thing. But I'd love to see an animated version of it, right? With flames, right? So it's a Human Torch that's burning, and there's different colors. And if you put it in your showroom or in your in VeVeVerse, you can light up a room with it. You can turn it off. You can have all those different things. I would love to see that. I would love to see animated covers too. So if they have it doesn't have to be a comic, right? Even if they say pick any comic and they say, look, if you burn so many, you can get a poster or something that's animated, or some kind of animated something. The cover, animated cover, that would be amazing too. So to me, those would be really amazing.
So there's a couple of things that I guess you could do with the burns, like rewards for that.
Yeah.
One of the most obvious would probably be MCP points, which I would not like, because for MCP points, that's something that is already pretty hyperinflationary. I want to see them not add more. But one of the other things which I could be way off base here, and this is likely something that they would not do, but I think a possibility. Back before they had eliminated the OMI to gem liquidity pool, they said that they were going to donate 1 million gems into that. If that's still around, you could say like, okay, based on the floor of the comic that you're burning, you don't have to list it. You don't have to try to undercut. You can just burn it and you get those gems from that until it lasts, the 1 million gems. And then you'd have a ton of comics go burning. So I thought that would be really cool.
Oh, that's an interesting idea. I never thought of that. That's pretty cool, Randy. Like the reason that people list a lot of it at low prices is because, they want to just get rid of the lower variants or something, right? So,
I mean, now that I think about it, that could be manipulated. Where we're like, okay, everybody, for Daredevil #1, let's delist, raise it up to 500 per comment, and then start to burn all of them. But then, dude, those prices would go nuts.
Yeah,
they would go nuts because then you have 1 million gems that just get injected into the market. That would be really interesting to see. Be really crazy to see. And the other thing for burning, I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll see what else we can get. I know.
Give me 30 seconds. I just need 30 seconds.
All right, you do that. I'll get back to the Definity. Oh, where was I? We had gone. All right, Chainalysis. With things progressing so rapidly, moving our systems towards automation and scaling many aspects of the business, now is a great time to revisit and consolidate our partnership with Chainalysis. Chainalysis are the world leader in blockchain wallet and transaction screening. We have embedded some of their more advanced automated components to increase compliance functionality into our platform. This will enable us to ensure we meet all regulatory and compliance requirements going forward, such as KYT, also known as Know Your Transaction. Then you have Kima. Our key strategic partner, Kima, successfully launched their TGE in November, as well as going live with their main net. This is a massive achievement for them and also marks a key milestone in our partnership with them, as we can start to make real progress on our primary use case for their technology. We see great potential in the partnership because the developers at Kima are creating something unique in the Web3 space that is very much needed, an omni-chain settlement layer that has eliminated all the main attack vectors in traditional market methods of transferring value between chains. Kima's protocol will not have any smart contracts, oracles, or external relayers. This is absolutely essential to get institutions trading at scale, as smart contracts have proven too vulnerable to attack. They are not fit for the purpose of institutional adoption. Their protocol also uses game theory and financial incentives to maximize capital efficiency, something that has been sorely lacking within the blockchains to date. Now, looking forward to December and then Q1, December might be a little bit slightly quieter month for trading for Definity due to the festive period. However, from January on, we expect to start ramping up many fronts simultaneously. We're aiming to launch the POC of our bank-backed credit intermediation model early in Q1, as we also continue to scale these small cap businesses out of the Meridius. Crypto repo should also move to POC in Q1. With the gaming repo proof of concept successfully completed, all data has been collated and submitted to the gaming commissions. Pending their review and approval, which we hope shouldn't take more than a few weeks, we will commence a gradual rollout of this product, initially to the 600 casinos and 2,000 cages that the infrastructure partner supports in the USA. Following this will be a worldwide rollout, which would be, oh my God, that'd be incredible. And then you have the Definity token, which again, a very big bag of. Improved liquidity has been promised and will be delivered. We are just finalizing how this will be implemented and the best strategic placement for the liquidity. Once the GUI trading interface is live, will enable us to implement Definity token utilities for the Meridius business. The exact mechanics of this utility are still being finalized, but it may incorporate aspects of both buying and holding Definity for fee reductions, as well as mechanisms involving burning of Definity. This may well be our first significant utility for Definity. The utility of the gaming repo product is live through Bitline, as the POC was very small. This has not yet been visible. However, once rollout of the gaming repo product commences, we anticipate this utility will gain significant traction. Mr. MC1, where were we?
Sorry, we're talking about comic burns and stuff, right? Were we talking about that?
Yes, we were.
Okay.
I wonder
that was a safe option, right? I think that's kind of like expected. But I think you're going down the path of what would be some new IP that's coming or a new category that's coming. I don't think they've told us it's a new category or anything, right?
No, I mean there's always new stuff happening. So you can't write anything off. But I think a lot of other comics are like too new for them to like want to do the burning. And again, like Marvel kind of trusted us. The first ever Evolvables drop wasn't just with any like a third iteration of a Marvel character. it was a first appearance of a very significant character, Punisher.
Yeah.
So I thought that because the relationship between Marvel and VeVe are so close, that you have this interesting thing that they would be the first ones to try it out. They're probably gonna be the first ones to let us try anything. Honestly,
Yeah.
I feel like the relationship is so close. We could ask Marvel of anything. It's like when your parent like hits you too hard and like, okay, they feel kind of bad, and then they like
Yeah.
buy you whatever you want for dinner.
Yeah.
Kind of like that. I feel like we, while we got the relationship, let's use it.
So another theory would be, see, they've announced this whole the comic. I don't know the name for it. The comic one where creators can upload the platform for comic creators.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Right. So you can upload your comic, and VeVe can kind of figure out what they want to do with it or whatever. I think if they have like some really interesting independent comic creators in that thing, maybe they could launch that. That might be another one, because they've already said they've got platform, blah blah blah. It'd be great if they do a platform, bring out a comic on that platform. If it's tied to like a Kickstarter or something like that, where there's some ability to kind of get in on some action there as well, that would be interesting too. I mean, it's a lot of possibilities with independent comic creators and stuff. That would be pretty cool. And anime, especially if they can kind of bring in some anime and stuff on that, right? That would be pretty nice.
That'd be great. I mean, so there's a couple of ways that I think they can do that. You already technically have like manga with the Ultraman series, and
Yeah.
that was cool for a first one. But yeah, in the same way that we were talking about exchanges the other day, I would like to have like the smaller anime first, or maybe it's something like Fruits Basket or like Dead Man Wonderland. Like don't start off with like a Dragon Ball Z. Don't start off with like Attack on Titan right away. Like get to that later.
Yeah.
And this way, each time, and then maybe you could end with like Pokemon Adventures or something, because that'd be amazing.
It'd be good to see some K stuff come out too, like K-pop or K-drama or something. Hey, Ace-Rick, how are you doing? But it'd be good to see some of that stuff, some Asian kind of IP come out as well. That would be pretty interesting, exciting. They haven't done anything sports after that. I'd love to see something sports related come out. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, there's so I think that'd be fun, because like I don't really like football right now because my Jets are 3-10, because all they do is lose, like freaking Bob Dole in the 90s. Anyway, do you think that's something they should like stay away from? Because like, hey, we have our lane, we have stuff that we know that works.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah.
I mean, they did Joseph Parker, so maybe it takes a different shape or style. And I think there's something that's been in my brain for a little bit, and I want to put it out there, right? I don't know if I've ever talked about it. So I've been playing this whole Pokemon, the trading card game, right? TCG. I've not spent $1 on it, brother. That's my goal.
Okay. You and KC, man.
It's not cheap. I have 2 cups of coffee in Starbucks or whatever, man. I'll do anything. But anyway, let's go with it for now. It's just self-control. I'm trying to teach myself self-control, right? So,
okay.
That's where I decided to practice self-control. Anyway, but here's the idea. So I look at the gamification on it. It's very interesting. If you open 2 packs in a day, you get something. If you do something, you get a gift, you get something else. I don't know the names for these things. You get something. When you click that, you can click on a card, you get it. If you do something else, you get points. There's this whole sort of ecosystem of you do this, you get this, you do this, it all leads somewhere, right? And they keep dropping news and stuff. So if you think about it, VeVe has some or a lot of those things. The 25 points a day, you can earn a max of 25 points a day on VeVe for opening the app, engaging with it, listing something, having a follower, following somebody. All those things, right? There's like this whole set of things.
Yeah.
It's just that it works in the background and nobody knows anything about it. Nobody knows anything about it. Like, we just get the points. Like, honestly, I have no idea how many points a day I get. And I heard that there's some place you can click and it'll show you today you got, now in the new version, you can see how many points you got for the day or something. But the gamification, and I'm not saying, get all the auctions and do all that, get the guys what they want, right? First, don't like, this is not like a urgent thing. But if VeVe can take all of the things that are already there, right? All the points that you get, 25 points you get a day, and can create some kind of like a customer interaction there, right? Like when you open the app, congratulations, you already got 2 points. Whoa, and then you kind of list something. Oh, congratulations, you got this thing. Oh, you bought something. Oh, wow. Now you got like 15 points. Right now it just says purchase. It doesn't tell you how many points you got, right? When you buy something and when you sell something. So technically, VeVe has already built out all this functionality. They just don't have the celebration in the app. Though you can get points for doing those things. They have the math that computes it. They have everything. They just don't celebrate it, right? And they don't show it in your face. So theoretically, they could gamify that. And maybe that's something that comes later after they get all this ranks and point levels and ranks and all this stuff. Like I like the gamification that way too, right? But that's sort of a very, most of the ranks and levels and stuff and drops is when you spend the money. But are there ways in which you can get people engaged? Theoretically, people can get 25 points a day for if you're not buying, right? If you're not buying. And you can, gamify that. So people are logging in more often. People are playing with it more often. And eventually that traffic will lead to action. I think it leads to action because then they'll say, oh, I love this stuff. Oh, I love this stuff,
So there's, I would like, because I like it when I buy something in the, and like today I bought something, the Ezio Secret Rare. And when I did that, it gave that little, the little confetti.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I love that celebration.
I think if we do something like what you said, like celebrate every time you do something, that would be cool, but I would like a toggle to turn that off just because, again, I don't buy enough where it would annoy me.
It's like Dr. Rolex, when he's shopping, there's like a celebration. A celebration screen is always.
Yeah, it's gonna freeze on that. Like you have Misha Fitton with what 1,500 collectibles this week. Like break the phone.
That's funny. That is funny.
So yeah, I would like to see something like that. If we do that, and again, I don't know how long that would take. Apparently, that because of the way the new app is now, it's easier to go in and make these updates. But there was somebody being facetious the other day, and they're saying like, "Oh, hey, this thing could have taken 30 minutes. You waited a couple days to roll it out." And Ben perfectly responded, just saying like, "If this would have taken 30 minutes to roll out, we would have rolled it out in 30 minutes." So that kind of tells you that like they're doing things as quickly as they can, and they roll it out as soon as it's ready. So I think they've had 3 updates.
They also squashed one myth, right? When the first time the app rolled out, everybody's like, oh, it's going to take 3 months to do this, and it's going to take 6 months. Well, it didn't take 3 months or 6 months, man. They literally in the first week, they had 2 or 3 kind of releases, and they fixed some issues, and then next they're doing some more. That itself should give people comfort. This is a platform where they're able to make changes relatively fast. I mean, it's not 30 minutes. Sometimes you don't want to do things in 30 minutes because if you break some compliance law, or you do something stupid, or you make another mistake, you want to still think through some of these things and do them more thoughtfully. But hey, listen, this is what I'm giving away. Do you know what this is?
Oh yeah, the giveaway.
So CGC brought this limited edition thing to New York Comic Con, and if you did a submission, you got this. And there's only, I think, 300 of them or something. So guys like me and Rolex and others, we kept going, man. So I have, I think, 5 or 6 of them. Rolex, I think, has 5 or 6 of them. But yeah, so you want a closer look?
Yeah.
All shiny and everything, but it's limited quantity. It says it's VeVe specific. It's 10. But yeah, so I'm giving this away today. I think it sells for a lot of money too. I don't even know.
It's like
I'm scared to look eBay.
It's like
if I look at it,
$150.
I probably might change my mind, right?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, yeah. I'm just ignore what I just said.
It's like a couple $100, you think?
150 right now.
150. Okay. That's cool. But it's more, I think, for like 150 for people who are giving it away. But if you're a true collector, if you're collecting on VeVe and stuff, you can't find this again. That's it. It's 300. It was the first one.
And what I really thought was curious about the real collectors, people that have those level 100 pins and the stuff in the app, I was expecting people to be like, hey, let me sell this for a couple grand, get like a bunch of OMI, but they haven't. And I was like, oh, all right. I think because I know it'll just be one of 100, and they can
Yeah.
in the bull market,
Yeah.
they can likely sell it for much more in the future.
Yeah. But anyway, how do you want to give this away? We can do it later. Probably good. Yeah, maybe do it a little bit later.
Yeah.
Where's
I mean,
Rolex? Let me text Rolex while you're thinking through that. So, as always, I'm not going to think through how to give it away.
KC BMW says, Ben Rose. So KC BMW is having a little bit of a celebration today. I'll see if I can freaking find it because I have so many freaking screenshots of stuff.
Oh, it's amazing.
Here it is. Here's to 1 year of doing my calendar for every single VeVe drop. 272 drops in 1 year, 258 in 2024 so far. Let's heckin' go. There have been stuff in the past where we would do like 12 days of Christmas or 12 days of whatever, or whatever's politically correct holidays. For this one, I don't know if they'll do that. I feel like they've been kind of riding these guys pretty hard, and maybe we might have a little bit of a break for Christmas. We might not. I don't know.
His work is amazing, by the way. I love KC BMWs. You know, those calendars are really good. And so consistent. He's done it for such a long time, and it's truly, you know, salute to him, man. This is amazing. It's great. What a community, right? There's people have different things that they do, and every one of those has become like a tradition or a pattern or a habit or a business or something or the other, and or you know, community content, stuff like that. So it's really, this is one of those most amazing communities, and there's more and more coming up too. Hello, Curtis. How you doing?
We got some cool peeps here. So there's
Curtis is a really amazing dude. I've had the opportunity of chatting with Curtis a couple of times. He's a big OMI whale, and his belief in OMI, his conviction, incredible, man. Like, you know, I know it's been a long haul. I know it's been a very long haul, and hopefully we're just around the corner here. You know. So we'll see.
Am I Pocahontas in '96? Because we're just around the river bend. There's so you have probably one of the largest amounts of MCP points that anyone has, and you obviously, yeah, don't you?
I mean, about 6.5, maybe 7 now.
7.
Oh, 6. Maybe 6 now.
Anyone that's level 100 has one of the largest MCP points around.
I do have. I mean, compared to like Dr. Profit and Rolex and stuff, you know, my stack is like really tiny. But you know,
for reference, I have. Let's see what I have here. If the app was a little faster, I'd tell you. I have less than 2 million. I have like 1.5 million. Well, so I have.
You never want to be less than 1 million, because they ever do 1 million point drop. You don't want to be the guy watching on television what's going on. You know what I mean? You want
the flower bomber.
You want to be in the action.
So the flower bomber is over $2,000. So, I mean, the flower bomber being over $2,000 right now, I think is a big indicator that, okay, if 1 million points is $2,000, give or take. So I mean, you essentially have 14K right there. If they and that's for the flower bomber that was kind of born in the bear market. And they've even showed now you have to be, I think for today's secret rare, you had to have been like gold, like level 4 or whatever that was, in order to go in and do that craft.
Yeah.
What happens when they have an IP? What happens when they have something super scarce that's only for maybe not master collectors, but maybe for, you know, like diamond 2 and above?
Yeah, I'm glad they did gold 4, experimented with it, because, you know, if they had it as level 95 and above or 90 and above, and it was very scarce, there'd be, you know, just a lot of noise and saltiness there. So I'd love to, you know, I love what they did.
And you're going to be clipped there. They're going to be like, so
man,
there's
these guys.
Are you aware who Jesse.Baith is?
No.
So Jesse.Baith.eth is one of like the main people like on base, always rallying around things on there.
All right.
Said today, just to be 100% clear, in the base community would have welcomed Pudgy Penguins and their token with open arms, and we are excited to collaborate with Abstract Chain on scaling Ethereum. My hope is that folks bridge the token to base alongside Solana and we grow together. And Foster Hill just perfectly responded, chef's kiss, saying, thankfully, the OMI token understood the assignment and are building on base with their fast and secure transactions. With hundreds of IP, OMI powers the utility for VeVe official ecosystem. Looking forward to growing and building alongside you. And that kind of went like semi-viral this morning, where a lot of OMI homies going and doing that. As far as going in and getting we have this affiliate marketing program that's about to come out. Let's speculate about that a little bit. Well, what would you like to see from the affiliate marketing program?
In what? Sorry, say that again?
Oh, for the affiliate marketing program, like Foster was there doing a little bit of marketing for the token, just for the Ecomi.
You mean for various types of content creators and stuff to kind of get some action on the token? Is that what you're saying?
Well, they're getting. I mean, VeVe's rolling it out, the VeVe affiliate program. But yes, what would you like to see? What things would you like to?
I mean, I wrote a whole paper on it sometime back, and but more on the VeVe side, not on the OMI side. Like with the token, I just honestly, I don't even have a perspective on what to do with the token there, because I don't know how right or wrong it is to influence people to do something with the token or not. It's not my area of expertise or anything. On the VeVe side with collectibles and stuff, I've written a whole paper and turned it in, how to kind of engage people in the community, right? Everything from recognition to an appreciation to monetary to enablement. How do you bring stuff, get them interviews, get them content, get them curation of that stuff. And I don't know where it is, but I do know that some of those pieces VeVe has built out, and we'll see what they roll out. I know they've had a lot of changes in the marketing side, so probably if you built something but you got a new marketing guy, you might as well give him the opportunity to kind of weigh in and make some changes to it before you roll it out, rather than getting that guy stuck with it, right? I mean, you could probably change it anyway, but. Yeah, I guess I don't have an answer. I mean, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the OMI token. I can talk about the VeVe side.
I don't know if we get anything for the OMI token. I mean, that'd be cool if we could get like paid in OMI. I don't know if they would let us do that. That would be like too wonderful. But just the reason I brought it up, this guy JVZON over on X, who is like the head affiliate, says, what building the Web3 affiliate program feels like, and it's just a bunch of X-Men. It was from the X-Men.
But I think it's for VeVe. I don't know if it's for OMI.
It is for VeVe, yeah.
Yeah.
But just because, like, I don't know, I did maybe multiple payments. I would not like to see it the way Discord does it. The way Discord, like, they had like bought collectibles for it, and essentially like community kind of pays them. I would not like to see that. I think multiple ways of getting paid, like if you get paid in gems or if you get paid in fiat or maybe OMI, I think that would be cool.
I think we're starting in the wrong place. So it's not about what you pay, it's about what you achieve. A lot of these affiliate programs have to incent the right behaviors, right?
Yeah.
And so VeVe has to work backwards from what behavior do they want to see. In a down market, you want to drive more engagement with existing users. In a down market, you want more spend from existing users. In a down market, you want more action from your existing community, or maybe even to bring back some customers, right? People that have an account but are inactive, kind of getting them activated. People that are semi kind of, they come once a month and hit something, or once a quarter and hit something, to get more engagement there. There's those in a down market, you want to drive all those things. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. I really wanted to respond to, this whole new user comment that, discussion that happened yesterday without any sort of, I have a lot of respect for Ben, I have a lot of respect for PAGS, and that whole conversation, very interesting. But, specifically on that new user thing that PAGS brought up, I wanted to react on that, but we'll get there in a minute. But on this topic specifically, you have to work backwards from what VeVe wants to incentivize in a down market versus an up market. And you want to keep that flexible. And you want to be able to support, right? Enable them. Everybody's at a certain tier, right? All these affiliates, all of them are at a certain tier. And some of them are distracted with other things too. So how do you become the center of attention, right? You still want them to do other stuff because that brings in other audiences into your kind of thing. So, but how do you make your stuff the main? How do you incentivize that? How do you elevate them, right? You got to meet them where they are, because not everybody has all the tech, not everybody has all that stuff. And you also want to create a program that works for the people that are today here, creating content and stuff, the good ones, right? And you want to enable them to the next level. And the people who are not performing or, for some reason are, either you sort of part way, just, say, okay, not for them, or otherwise kind of figure out a mechanism to create like the scale by which they can go to the next tier, right? And they have the incentive to go to the next tier. And then you just, each one can do what they want. If they choose to, they do it. But most importantly, you want the big guys, right? There are very, very large affiliates. This would be somebody of the, who has 5 million followers or 10 billion followers and stuff like that. And this is not just them just sort of saying, oh, I also do this. Like, it's a real partnership, right? You put some skin in the game, and they've got usually those are not just cash, right? Those, you also have to create some kind of other mechanisms, like longer term incentives, as well as short term or medium term kind of compensation, or some kind of a mechanism of reward. But anyway, so I would like to see all of those things happen. I'm pretty sure VeVe's thought through a lot of those. We'll wait for them to roll it out. But that's what I would love to see,
There's hey, Asuk, what's going on, my man?
Hey, Asuk, how are you doing, man? He's cool, man. I love this guy.
Yeah, I love him so much. He's so chill.
Yeah.
So
to the moon, man. Me to the moon. Yeah.
Yeah. So there is I would want to say a worry. Obviously, they're, like home team. Take care of your own. And this, I guess, is like a bittersweet thing. You want those people. You want like the Andre Jicks. You want the people that have those millions of viewers.
Yeah.
And
Brother Doge, right? Isn't he like quite the guy with a lot of following stuff too?
He's got, well, it's yes and no. Like, he's got less than Andre Jick, but his is like specifically Web3. His is specifically crypto, which, let's say Andre Jick's, 2 million subscribers, maybe like 5% of them are crypto peeps, whereas 100% of Pro the Doge's, 250,000, however many he, 500,000, whatever he has, that's like all crypto peeps. So both would be great. I think both they'd be awesome. And again, you want people like them. I want so many of these big influencers to do it that I don't even make like the top 100 in terms of following. And that would be a little bit disheartening, because it'd be like, oh man, been coming for so long.
It's a different program, man. It's a different program, right? The people that have been here for a long time, who are very loyal to VeVe, who've created content in the barest of bear markets, and who've demonstrated this, there's got to be a special something for them, like a program for them, and that's different, and hopefully enable you to go to the next year. Because in fact, part of the reason, just very candidly, part of the reason that I took a 10% stake in your channel was not because of who you are now and what you are now, but because it's my belief that this space grows. Overall, crypto grows. Overall, digital collecting grows. Overall, metaverses grow. Gaming grows. And you have some unique characteristics, like, you know Pokemon very well. You're pretty well versed with movies and stuff. You got an interesting personality too, right? And very unique personality, right?
Flattery will get you everywhere, Mr. MC1.
Yeah, look at that, man. Look at that face, man. Yeah. Well, Randy, we're gonna have to measure it by how many new users you bring in for VeVe. You know what I mean?
we could try that. I mean, I wish they would have something like past performance. Past performance. Oh God, I'd be rich as heck. But I guess that's the. Did you know? Like when you're like, hey, I'll buy 10% of the channel. Like I didn't really have like any sponsors at that time. It was like and now I have like 6. Did you like know like this was gonna happen?
Well, I didn't know that, but one thing I figured out was that, that's a natural outcome, right? If you and I partnered up on something, and the money doesn't drive me, the 10% of what you make, is not like what I'm in it for anyway. Probably give away more than that. I give away more money than that anyway in a year. But for me, it was more a function of looking at the future. And in the future, crypto takes off. Any one of the coins that you're sort of in and you're talking about and stuff, and you're not a financial advisor, but just the entertainment value from someone like you will be incredible. So you'd have a lot of following and stuff like that. So that's number one. I think a second aspect to it is you're well liked in this whole space. So a lot of the whales like you. I mean, you are in a palace right now. That's
true.
Courtesy someone who cares, to take care of you. And there's
Yeah,
many
love it.
people like that, including me, who would make sure you're fine, right?
Yeah.
Even if crypto doesn't make it, we'll make sure you're fine. I don't lose much or anything in terms of this investment. But if it makes it, it's worth a lot, right?
Agreed.
But anyway, let's kind of switch gears from that. I mean, I think we kind of
Sure.
got off on a tangent talking about you and me and that whole thing on the channel. But just broadly speaking, there's a lot of people who are listening that are people that create content, have a desire to create content. And there's various styles of content. There's short form, medium form, long form. There's guys who are doing TikTok-like stuff. Sevilla does stuff that's really engaging and interesting. It's very short, crisp. OMI homies do that type of short, crisp kind of content.
Oh, I love them. They're so awesome.
Yeah. And then you have Metaverse Life, who's doing like movie style or short film style production with episodes. And you have Vibesman doing something like that. And you have all the flavors in between. And then you have just the talk channels, like your video plus talk. And then O'Malley is like that. There's a few others like that. And there's more coming in, though, by the way, just so you know. You have no idea. Like, somehow I've become like this port of first or second call. Somebody has an idea, they call me, and it's fascinating. And I keep all that private. So I don't share cross-share anybody's ideas or something like that. But it's fascinating how many people have reached out to me about content creation, how many people have reached out to me about merch, all kinds of merch, and how many people have reached out to me about events and stuff like that. So there's that, and I've seen a growth in the number of inflow and inquiries in that space in the last, I would say, 6 weeks, maybe. And the last 3 weeks have been crazy. Like one day I was sitting, like seriously, one day I was like, I had like 4 work meetings and I had 5 community meetings, like Zoom and stuff, 5. And I'm like, what am I doing here? Like, should I take a back seat here? Like, am I going to neglect my real job? Whatever.
I mean, same.
Yeah.
I haven't had like a minute to myself the last few days. And it's like, okay, I go outside, like do a perimeter check. I walk the dog, make sure we're good. I come back and I have like 3 missed calls, a bunch of, and it's like, oh my God, I can't. So.
But last time, when the bull market, there were people who wanted to, just do NFTs and sell NFTs.
Yeah.
Hey, Harish, how you doing, man? This is another amazing guy, man. I love this guy. Love chatting with him as well. So when you think about this time round versus last time, it's much more sophisticated. People are not just saying, hey, I've got my project, I've got a timeline, can you do it? This time, they're thinking through what they want to do, how they're going to do it, how do they create the community. It's not just an NFT. There's merch, there's physical, digital, this, that, and the other. There's engagement with brands. There's original content creation as part of it as well. It's not just pictures. It's it's comics and it's all kinds of stuff. There's so many incredible ideas, and I think we're just at the start. Like if you've got a brilliant idea, put it on paper and take it to people who can help you. I mean, I'm not the guy, but you can go to people like Dr. Profit, or you can go to people like Dr. Fuse, or one of these guys, Rolex. One of these guys, they'll help you. Even Guido is amazing. These are all really amazing guys who Sleep in Comics, by the way. Sleep is another guy. He's like a tech background and stuff. There's a lot of people like that. So you can go to any one of these guys and they'll be a good thought partner. B, they'll help you. And none of these guys are sharks who kind of eat your, try to take advantage, exploit you or something, right? None of all of that.
So there's I don't know if Dr. Prop, speaking of him, he has an idea for a drop. It was from the front, it looks like this beautiful cardinal, and then from the side, it's like a whole bunch of other stuff that has nothing to do with it. So it's depending on how you look at it. Yeah. And then later, the official Stacker account said like, oh, we could do something like this for Dashi. I'm like, oh, this would be great.
I always, like, when we signed this deal, I told you I wanted to see something done on a Dashi.
Yeah, I want to do that too, as I feel like, I mean, Dashi, splashed with gold, got diamonds over there and stuff, and crazy story. So
where's the Dashi on VeVe, man?
That'd be fun. I would love that.
I should put together a proposal. If you don't ask, you won't get it. So
That's true.
Put together a proposal that gets Dashi on the app, and that's one way to support you as well.
Yeah, he's awesome. I mean, the comic that I'm writing, I mean, to get tomorrow, like even the people that had it, they want OMI to be like this ancient technology that the people. I don't want to give too much away about the story, but I think that would be fun as well. To get once we get that. Do we have any idea when that might be rolling out, the curator program?
Don't know. Hopefully soon. By the way, I did want to cover the two topics now, so you don't mind. The first one I wanted to talk about was really around new user growth. I know there's a lot of people who talk about new user growth, right? They're saying, oh, we should have new user growth. We should have what the hell are you doing, VeVe? Why don't you, spend some money on marketing and do all this new user growth and stuff like that? It's not as simple as that, If you break out the market into 3 phases, right? There's a phase where there's a bear market. People don't care about NFTs. Anybody who was selling NFTs has seen a drop in volume by 90%, have seen a drop in price by 80 to 90%, relative to the peak. That's a pretty massive, that's like the bear of the bear. If that shit happens to any other company in any other vertical, they'll be dead, right? And so those are very challenging. When you have that type, and think about VeVe, right? When VeVe had its growth, they didn't do any special marketing, man. The market was moving because everybody wanted NFTs, and VeVe had the widest gate, right? And they had the coolest, sexiest, shiny gate, and the masses marched in, right?
Ooh, talk dirty to me, Mr. MC1.
That's, that, by the way, I don't know what I said dirty there, but we'll go to Randy, whatever you're thinking, man. Like I wasn't thinking that. But anyway. All right. But think about it that way. So in if you think about that bear market strategy versus a bull market strategy, and the middle is where you sort of starting to pivot, right? Middle is like a transition period. So in the bear market, remember, like any digital marketing business, right? There is a cost to acquire a customer. There is a cost. There's a real cost. Like at the end of the day, whether you do display ads, whether you do Instagram or Facebook, or you do reel ads or whatever, whether you do SEM, on Google and this, that, and the other, whether you do all these other types of affiliate marketing, not this type of affiliate as in they're actually sending you leads and stuff. Somebody typed in collectibles and then they're redirected into your ecosystem, right? That type of stuff. Any of that stuff, there's a real cost per account to acquire. And in a down market, the conversion rate on that is horrendous. I mean, just think about it this way. Any of you guys go to a family reunion. These are people who know you, who trust you. You go to a family reunion today, right? Over like maybe 6 months back. And you pull out your VeVe app and you show them. And you say, oh, I'm on NFTs. Why don't you download it? And nobody, man. Like nobody. I mean, realistically, we're not seeing that. So the day, when you walk into a room and you say VeVe and you show people collectibles and they say, oh my God, that's so cool. I got to download it right now. And then when you go home, there's a third guy who calls you, who's all upset. Why didn't you tell me about it? You told this other guy, or, help me do this, that, and the other. That's different, right? Until you get to that type of point, if you're burning your money on acquiring new customers, you're going to lose. You're going to be broke. And that's what's happened to a lot of these companies. You have to have the intelligence to survive a bear market. And if you try to fight declining sales and declining prices with more money, you will just ruin your business. The streets are littered with people that have done that. Littered. There's like so many NFT companies that are bust, and the others are on the way to going bust. So that's not a good strategy for VeVe, But the people that are here and engaged, right? How do you drive a higher revenue per customer? It's called average revenue per user, ARPU. That's a real number. ARPU is a real number. You want to drive, given the baseline, you want to drive more and more and more. And VeVe, and there's 2 ways to do it. One is you build out the tech, right? So you create more engagement. You have MCP, you have MCP drops, you have levels, ranks, you do points-based drops, and you have scarce quantities. You listen to the community, you have all these things. You do a lot of giveaways in the community. And those are kind of things, that is heavy engagement of existing users, and it's heavy engagement in terms of the more spend. So that's, you don't have to spend big marketing dollars for it. So if you have $1 million of budget, you spend 750,000 on development and existing user kind of growth and and spend, and then you spend 250 on some marketing. You still need to do some brand work, so you got to keep your presence, right? So some money you keep burning, you keep doing that, but you have to do that. When it pivots, right, that middle period, now you have to also be smart. You cannot be dumb. If you think the market's changing and you go completely the other side and it doesn't change, you're screwed. So you have to still be smart about it. You have to, it's like a wait and watch, but you got to, switch. Now if you have $1 million, now you're putting like 400,000 into new users and stuff, and 600 still on the other side. And as the market switches, you kind of do that. And I'm seeing some of the signs, but nobody can say for sure that NFTs are going to be back like in full swing. We don't know that, right? We know it's improved. Everything's improved. Like Bored Apes have improved, Pudgies have improved, VeVe Collectibles have gone up, MC1s have gone up, right? Every rarity's gone up.
Yeah,
right?
there's a lot.
Spider-Man's gone up, Superman's gone up, all the grails have started going up, right? And not just up by 5%, 10%, they're up like 50 to 100%, right? If you bought it 3 months back or 4 months back, you almost 70% or double your money already, right? In terms of that. So you literally doubled your money.
Partners is like the shining example. That's the one that everybody knows.
What's it at now, Randy?
It was up to 2K before. I'll check right now real quick.
Yeah.
But that was down to like $1,000 at one point, and it wasn't that long ago. It was like a couple months ago. As soon as it loads, I'll go and tell you. But
so the analogy I would use for the bear market, when you hit the bear market, is it's like a team trying to get up to Mount Everest, right? So you got to have a strategy. You have to have multiple base camps. After you get to a certain place, you've got to have oxygen. You got to have a whole strategy. If you can't run up the hill, and you can't burn resources. It's a very strategic thing to get up there. And then when the market improves, it's like running downhill. And if you set yourself up correctly, what does setting yourself up correctly mean? You have to have a very good app by the time the bull market starts. It has to be absolutely incredible. You have to have a great points program. You have to have great gamification. You have to have fantastic IPs. You have to have a great marketing mechanism. You have to have phenomenal content. You have to have all these affiliates who are ready to go. And you have to have that type of scaling. You have to have the ability to scale it. When you hit that, kind of type of growth, and you start seeing it, then you can go to VCs, or private equity or whatever, and say, okay, well, I've already seen this growth. More money enables more growth, and that's when you kind of do that. But David's very smart. I mean, David and Dan, and they've brought in a guy like Ben, and he's solid, man. These guys are all solid. They're not idiots. If you tell David to go and spend all his money on new user growth, and if he had listened to any one of the people here that please go and do a lot of marketing, it would be like $100 CPA, and the new guy coming in would spend $10 in like 6 months and fall off, or maybe $20. It's just, it was way better. I mean, to that extent, what they've done with the level 100 program, incredible. I mean, look at all the level 100s now. Look at the people who are not level 100 who are working towards it. And now they're going to start creating more and more kind of things. Oh man, Curtis, man, dude, like, I miss chatting with you, brother. I'm going to literally call you tomorrow. It's been too long, Curtis. It's been too long. But you got to bring Curtis on the channel too, man. He's amazing. What he's done with games
what's his
and burning OMI.
What's his at? Is it just Curtis Cooper?
Yeah. You don't know Curtis?
Yeah, I know
the guy
him.
behind all the games, man. The Canon game and stuff like that. And burning.
Yeah. He has a last time I talked to him, he was working 100 hours a week. So he was. Yeah,
I know, and he is, man. Yeah. His story is phenomenal. What he did from all his businesses towards OMI, is like very ballsy. And then all the delays, and stuff like that. And then how he pivoted and then went a different direction while keeping, that whole OMI thing. This man is, someday you'll see a book written about this man. You see a book, I'm not kidding. It's a phenomenal story. I mean, your story is quite public, the whole Pokemon card and you went all in on this and that, and whatever. His story is really incredible too. Anyway.
Yeah, he bought, I remember, I mean, we talk about a lot of stuff, but I remember him buying me a pizza on like my 69-hour stream. I was like, oh, thanks, man. That's really nice. That's so cool.
All right. Yeah. But anyway, let me pause there. So I know I've gone on a little bit of a kind of thing there, but it's not necessarily only about new user growth. It's about getting the people who are here today, who are spending money, to spend more and actually get value. It's not just about taking the money, right? It's about creating value. Personally, I'm seeing a lot of value, man. This 88 mint size something, I love it. These Lambos, this crafting, all that stuff. I don't like. I would like even the David one I got on drop, the Secret Rare, but the other ones, the Dan and the other Eagle Eyes one, I bought it in the market. Why? They got my attention, man. Like you got me to spend $800 or $700 on two of these things in one shot. Like I wouldn't. I mean, like $700, a lot of money. I could go do something else, man. But they are genuinely engaging. I know what Pag said yesterday, but Pag doesn't speak for. Pag's a little disconnected from some of the stuff. He doesn't know the stuff. He's not in the stuff.
He hasn't been paying attention.
He's not
for a while.
he's not had one of these level 100 conversations. He's not in that group and circle. I mean, I'm chatting with Dr. Fuse. I'm chatting with Packaging Dude and Alex and you name it. All these guys with Rolex and Profit and and the team and different people on the team engaged on different topics and they're listening to us. And all the different ways in which. I don't want to talk about everything, but the whole level 100 program is a very, very sophisticated program.
Yes.
Very sophisticated. Like we all got our measurements done, jacket measurements done. This is not L or XL or 41 long or whatever. This is like measuring, your whole thing from there to there, measuring your chest, measuring your waist, measuring your collar. So go to actual tailor, get all those measurements, send them to VeVe. That kind of stuff. So they're working on something super special there. They're working on some, phygital comics, graded phygital comics. For level 100s, and they're working on some other stuff too. But there'll be all the next levels will roll out, right? You start with level 100, then you do all the others. You see master collectors. I know master collectors probably saying, "Hey, when's my turn?" Like, I'm a master collector. I'm still, part top 1% or 3% or whatever. But my sense is all those things come. But that's where VeVe has done a great job with engagement. They're bringing in the money. And the people who are buying it are loving it. And we're not going anywhere. Pag said, in the end, like yesterday I was listening, I was like, Pag's like, ultimately, people like Mr. MC1, Sanjay and, Profit and these Rolex and these guys will stop spending money. I'm just like, well, I haven't thought about it so far because I'm kind of having fun and I'm buying a lot of stuff. I mean, you check my wallet and, the best way to look at it is you look at this guy, right? LBB, right? He does all the weekly kind of thing, the top 500 wallets.
I love that.
Check everybody's wallet, man. We're all buying. And I'm not buying, if it says 100, I'm not buying $101 comics or $2 comics. I'm buying really good stuff. And so is Rolex and so is others. So,
and that's the other thing.
I love Pags, by the way. I love Pags, all right? I know Pags and his wife, met his daughter, lovely daughter, and, we get along great. Comic-Con's always so fun to be around the Pags as well. But I don't think he's connected into the ecosystem, especially the ecosystem of people that are actively engaged in the app and spending more and actually loving it. And you should talk to others. I mean, I don't know where Dr. Rolex is. Like, probably gone mute and kind of.
He did say he'd be a bit late.
Okay.
He had to wrap a couple things up.
Listen, they're stuck in traffic. Might be. Okay. All right.
I mean, we went for 5 hours last night. I could do 5 hours for Rolex tonight.
No, it's fine. Yeah, so we'll see what happens with Rolex. He's stuck in traffic, so
okay, yeah.
He's listening in though. So Dr. Rolex, whenever you get home, I know you'll be beat and stuff, but just come and say hi. We at least we want to hear from you. But he's coming on tomorrow anyway.
Yeah,
right?
he'll be on the podcast tomorrow.
Yeah,
so it's not a big deal.
That's cool.
Yeah.
But that's the point. I wanted to make a very critical point there about new users versus ARPU. There's one more point. Mm-hmm. When we go to the through the second phase, right? There's bear market, there's sort of this transition phase, and then there's the growth phase, right? In the transition and the growth phase, especially in the transition phase, reactivation of prior users is cheaper, faster, worth more than going after new. So VeVe needs to have the metrics to measure what is the activation rate amongst the people that have not been inactive for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 180 days. Beyond that is always hard, like that's as good as like sort of reacquired, right? But still, those people are easier to bring back. Those are crypto people. Those are people who bought NFTs. They're gun shy now. But if you can create the right mechanism to incentivize them, at a very low cost, like there should be a whole drop around reactivation, like a couple of drops around reactivation. I don't care. If I don't get it, I'm fine. Create this whole mechanism that says if your wallet's inactive for 90 days and you're in this, you're eligible for blah, 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 you get triple points or quadruple MCP, or you get to use your MCP to get something with some cash, right? And create some kind of thing that's nostalgic. Like when back in the day you had bubbles and you had this and that and you had golden dragon, and create some kind of something there. But again, it's not about just new users, man. Like that is such a high risk lottery way of trying to grow a company when you're coming out of a bear market. Focus on more spend from existing users, more engagement, more MCP, this, that, and the other. Focus on reactivating people that were recently inactive. Focus on getting them to the next tier, and focus on, then you focus on, once you're more in the, then you kind of open it up, man. That's in the peak times. That's when you go completely bananas with this new user acquisition. But I just wanted to, I just felt there was like this narrative around how many new users, and everybody keeps talking about new users. Like, so if you bring in like 10,000 new users and they spend $10, I mean, yeah, that's money, but with that same amount of money to get the 10,000 new users, you could do so much more.
Yeah.
Right?
There's going to be a couple of things as far as new. So the new users, you can go in and take a look at, okay, VeVe defines it as how many people have at least one collectible in their wallet. So the last, not this past week, like two weeks ago, you had 41 people that they either had accounts and they just never bought anything, or they're new signups, and now they have 41 new users with at least one collectible in their account. And this past week, it happened to be 48. So on average, it was like the late 30s or early 40s, but it does seem to be having that small uptick. And we're not sure exactly how to gauge that. Be like, okay, is this because of a delayed like Blackpink stuff? Because now you have Rosie and that new song Aqua 2 with Bruno Mars. Could it be something like Ezio that just came in? Like we're not sure. But measuring all of these and the daily active wallets has been interesting. I
know Blackpink, everybody kind of says something, right? How many times did you hit the buy now button during the Blackpink drop compared to other weeks? A lot more, man.
I forget how many times I did it. I don't know if I had because I think it was expensive. I think it was like $60.
Some of them were expensive. Some.
But I have all of their cards, because the cards are like, they were like $20.
Yeah.
And they're secret rares, like 20, and they're each their own set. I was like, why would you not get that? So I got those. And then I got the Rosie one because, she had that song with Bruno Mars. And I was like, I just love that song.
Yeah.
I got her. But then again, you have some of these grails. I don't want to say grails yet. So now it's $2,200 for the partner statue. And David Yu has a sale for I think like $1,900. Now the floor is like $1,800 for his metallic blue. And this only has 88 of him. And I was going over this last night. I want your opinion on it. There are people like you that, because and love David, you'd probably never sell this.
No. Thankfully, I got it on drop.
Because you got it on the drop.
But I will never sell it, man. Like, no. Yeah. Like maybe I'm dead and gone. Somebody in my family might sell it, but it's sentimental. In fact, do you know something? So when so I got 19 on the drop, David, and then I had to go to the market to buy the Dan one and the Eagle Eyes one, right? Both I know very well, both I respect, and a lot of love and respect for these guys. And so the price was not the issue. So literally the moment the market opened, looked at it, and normally I don't do anything stupid, but if I find the right price, I'll go do it. One was at 350 and the other one was 399 or something.
Okay.
I bought it right away, and it's like I'm not waiting. I love these two things. I'm going to take them. And then later, the price goes up and everything, and like it's double of what I paid for it, right? But I'm not selling. Have a nice day. I'm not going to sell.
Yeah.
If anything, I regret not taking two of them.
Yeah. So for this one, and why I brought this up is because for partner statue, let's say you had their 3,300, give or take, and then you have maybe several hundred that are in like suspected bot accounts or accounts that are like dead. So maybe you have like, I don't know, like 2,700, 25, whatever. You need a lot more people that value that in order for that to pump, where you only need like a handful, like a couple dozen people that really like their David Yu stuff. And that I thought was really interesting, because a lot of those people, especially the people that are level 100, that are OG whales, you might only need one day the new people that come in, like 2 or 3 whales to go and buy up a couple of those. Now, it might not be the first appearance of David on the blockchain that goes out to the episode Golden Statue, but it's the first appearance on VeVe though, and I think that's where it makes the most sense.
But by the way, do you know what I really liked about that? Right, not pumping anything here, but just really, the color for fire is like red. So there's a metallic red.
Depends on the temperature.
Yeah. All right. I give you that. But red is like this whole fiery kind of, there's a metallic red, and that's this whole Marvel metallic red. And then this is metallic blue. Blue is like icy, cool, like frozen, and that. Just the contrast of it, the metallic blue for me was really appealing, and the animation was great. So I said, and there was like some action to it too. I was like, okay, well, you know what? I love this. That's why I want this. I think the metallic blue becomes a thing, and this becomes, I think, the first of the metallic blues, right? Is there any other metallic blue, that kind of blue on the app?
Not like, I mean, you have Dan and Eagle Eyes, but outside of this, no. I mean, not this type of blue, but you do have like blue, like there's hints and hues of blue in that blue and beta, the Jurassic Park one.
Yeah. Okay, yes.
But that's about it.
That's different.
So
this is the VeVe blue, right? So this is like a metallic VeVe blue. I love it, man. I love it. I'd love to see this blue get developed further through all the marketing assets and stuff like that. So there's like the classic color, right? And there's a whole bunch of stuff there. And then there's this whole metallic kind of blue finish. I would love it, man. But it's pretty cool. I'm really, really excited to see this metallic blue on the app.
So there's this. I was privileged enough to be able to be on the phone with you to hear your reaction when you got David Yu. But Fun Under the Sun asked you to explain to the 550 people that are here, how happy were you when you saw the blue Yu?
Well, I was like super excited because I never hit these things. I never got the Matt Gondik one. All the super scarce ones, I never got them, with the exception of the stamp. Man, that's like made my day, man. Just, you have no idea. The day that I got the stamp, I was just over the moon for like a freaking month on it. And then same thing with the David Yu one, this David Yu collectible, just to get it on drop, it's so scarce. And then you look at your screen and say, what? I hit the buy now only twice, once on drop and one rebound, and it sold out, but I got it. That was amazing. But I sent David a message too, saying, hey, I got this thing, and yeah.
So that's what I just going off that, piggyback on that idea.
Yeah.
They made $55,000 on this epic drop with their characters, and they did that very, very quickly. Like if we weren't held back by you have to wait 6 minutes to get the rebound, it would have sold out in 1 minute. Do you think that we could do this with the rest of the people that are on? Like, do you think we have like a Ben one? Do you think we have a Foster? I know Foster works for Ecomi.
In time. I think it. you want to space these out, right? Eventually, I think they'll
I
happen.
don't. I'm impatient. Give me now.
Yeah.
I want my Foster now.
Yeah, I mean, you got to mix it up, right? If you go one by one, like in a short period, probably not. But if you space them out, I think they'll do very well. There's some pretty iconic people who've done some really amazing things at VeVe, and I'd love to see those come out. I think there's just a whole bunch of them. People like that. Anyway,
I would love to see VeVe do that of the employees, and maybe give the employees like 1% or whatever, and then just I would love it of Ben. I'd love it of Dr. Profit, and then I'd get the community members. I'd love one of you. I'd love one of Rolly.
Oh no, come on. Those are all. That's a little weight, man. We're just collectors, man. Just keep.
But
we should just remain collectors, man. Don't need all that fancy. We don't need to be.
All right, Mr. Armstrong, you're kind of ruining the vibe here. I want to get one of you and put you in like a funny position.
Yeah, don't need that. But that's funny though. Well, Randy, I'll tell you one thing, man. I've seen VeVe go through the last 4 years now, right? A little over 4 years. October, whatever, 15th or 16th or whatever is the VeVe's 5-year of, 5-year anniversary from the time they did the first drop, the Todd drop, right? Todd Batman. Yeah. And I've seen over the last little over 4 years, I've seen this company go through the peaks. I joined just a little bit before the peak, saw the peak, saw the downs, saw all the struggles. And I will tell you one thing, I'm impressed with the persistence. They don't give up. These guys, if they had to give up, they could have put their hands in the air and gone home like the Reeker guys. They could have gone home like any one of these guys. Number one, they have the intellect and the brains to not do stupid things to try and look good but destroy your company. They have the brains to work through the bear market. In the bear market, you spend money on technology and you prepare for the bull market. You don't try and spend your money trying to pay $150 or $100 to bring in one customer who spends $10. That's the dumbest freaking idea ever. Dumbest freaking idea. And there's a lot of people who've done that shit in the bear market. They try to make their numbers by doing all this stuff. And especially the guys who got a lot of VC and PE money, burnt it trying to do that stupid shit.
We saw that.
Smart. They spend money on tech. They're building the tech, and they deserve all the jokes too, man. It's taken a long time. There were a lot of, just be honest about it, right? There have been challenges on the tech side. It should have been faster, better, whatever, blah, 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 right? But they have invested in it. They're paying for some of the sins of the past. They had to, replace some of the technology. And I know some of us got used to the old technology and stuff, but at the end of the day, it's not just about the features you see today. You need a platform that's scalable, that you can configure easily, that you can bring in new tech and new data and new assets and connect into metaverses and stuff. We don't see all that shit, man. We're just saying, oh, we love the old app, we want the old app. But doesn't work like that, man. So anyway, look, there is some criticism for VeVe, and rightfully so, and they've listened and they'll make changes. But goes without saying, they've hired a lot of people in tech. They've hired some good people in tech, and they're building the tech. And they didn't go crazy on marketing. They stayed sharp. Even the marketing that they had, they focused those dollars on the existing community, the existing customers. We're building out MCP, building out Level 100 program, building out all these community giveaways and stuff like that, doing all of those things. And building out, they've even built the tech for new acquisition. So they've got the ability now to deep link. So they've created that deep link. I don't know if you see this, but when you go and see a reel ad in Instagram, right? There's a whole reel that plays. You see the Punisher one, man? It's amazing. They've done a couple of them. It's a reel ad. When you click on it, it deep links into VeVe and pre-log it. And you can go and explore it. And then when you click on something, then it says, okay, open a log, create an account or whatever. So that ability to deep link all the analytics around it, they've built all that capability. And part of this whole re-platforming is to enable that stuff. So they have built out all the capability for new account acquisition. Now the only thing they haven't done is gone and plowed like the millions and millions of dollars. Even that, maybe they experimented, man. Like, I don't know, maybe they did something during Blackpink and stuff. I don't know how much they did there, but you'd want to experiment, right? even in the worst of times, you want to plow just a little bit of money to just see. If you don't test, you don't know whether you're right or not, right? And they're doing that. But remember, I have a lot of respect for David and Dan, and now Ben as well, for being smart enough to invest in the right place at the right time and ride that whole thing. They didn't just survive, man. They didn't just survive. They're thriving in the bear market. They make a lot of money on the bear market as well. It's nowhere near what they will make in the bull market and what they did, but they've set themselves up very well for it. And I'm here not just because I love collecting, but because I see that also. I have a lot of love and respect for, David and the team. But remember that, man. Like that's my perspective. I know you heard a different perspective yesterday, but that's my perspective. Yes. And you can hear Profit's perspective. Why is Profit here? Why is Profit doing Stacker? Go ask him, man. Like he believes in the space. Yeah. And not just that he believes in the space, he also believes in David and Dan and now Ben. And don't confuse, I'm sure there are people that have left, but don't confuse people like me as someone who's waiting to get out or I'm frustrated and shit like that. Yeah, I have my frustrations. There are days when I don't hit the drop and I'm, like really salty and pissy, and we're all, do that, right? Post-drop saltiness is it's a natural reaction, man. It's totally normal, and there's a grieving period. You got like 2 hours to grieve.
Part of the reason Pags came on yesterday was because after Ben got off, we were talking about like mermaids and UFOs and all that. Like I love talking with him about that stuff. But part of the reason he came on yesterday is because he misinterpreted what I said on X, where people were saying something along. I was responding to Jeremy and I said, listen, if we don't have an exchange by the end of Q1, I'll sell 90% of my collectibles. And I guess I could have worded that better, but I didn't say what I'd do with the funds. I thought people would have assumed that I would have used that to buy OMI because that was my intention. That was going on in my head. But like Pags, like if they don't have it by the end of Q1, it's not like I'm out. I'm doing this because they're going to get exchanges at some point. And if they don't have it by the end of the Q1, then they're going to get it in Q2. So that's what I would do. I would sell them for OMI. But he like retweeted that, and he was just like, "Hey, are you seeing the light? Are you guys?" So that I had to bring him on for that. But to your point with, you say like, "Hey, we have our frustrations, whatever." And I know we always talk about like the big whales that continuously buy. Like this week, you had Baby Berg bought 300 collectibles, Michael Campa bought 500, and Misha Filton bought over 1,500. But people really don't recognize in the top 500. You need 1,650 collectibles to be there. And that number doesn't get smaller. That number continuously grows every week. So it's not just you have these like 8 or like 50 big whales, like you have 500 of them that continuously grow their stack every week.
Yeah. And these guys, this is when nobody wants to pull their money out of crypto. Like I don't want to sell any of my crypto to go do anything right now. It's doing so well, right? Like at some point I will. But you're absolutely right, Randy. And when you do the math on the average number of collectibles that's bought by the top 500, it's close to 13. So on the average, 13 new collectibles, or well, I guess I shouldn't say the word new, 13 collectibles are bought incrementally. The net 13 more every week. Every week.
So,
in the top 500. Top 500
are
adding 13 every week.
Which is nuts.
Yeah, and if there was a dollar value, we don't have the dollar value. If you do the dollar value on it, I can assure you it's growing. It's not shrinking, especially after VeVe lowered the edition sizes and stuff. It's absolutely growing.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what some of these things are. Like again, David being like 1,800 for his secret rare. Yeah. What happens to that in the bull market? I don't
want to talk about it, man. I don't want to speculate, man. We've been there before, Randy.
All right, we don't have to speculate.
You do that some other time, man. You do that some other time. You make your predictions and drive your people crazy,
I 100%.
But there was another point somebody made here, right? Yeah. There's another point they made, which is there's a lot of very interesting whales in VeVe. So, obviously I run two of the very prestigious and large clubs. I run the VeVe Gold and Silver logo club. I also run the Ecomi SR logo club, right? And each of these clubs, I've shipped a hat or multiple hats to people.
Yeah.
And so most of them are doxxed and known to me, right? Most of them are doxxed and known to me. I know these people. Some of them I've had the opportunity to chat with. Like, they're so excited about the VeVe Gold and Silver logo. They're so excited about the events, the merch. You have no idea. Whenever I kind of go put a note out there saying, hey, listen, I'm planning another, run of this merch. Insane amount of people. And before these major events, people reach out to me and get time with me. They're doing Zoom calls with me. I have literally met almost all of the whales in VeVe by Zoom, and I know what they do. There are nuclear scientists here, not some junior nuclear scientists. There are top e-commerce executives here, and they are all very private. They are very private. You will not hear their real names. They will not disclose their real names in public. You won't find them. They're very, very careful about the identity and stuff like that. But there are some serious whales here. There's some serious whales out here, executives, art lovers, art buyers, and also some investors. And I know them, and I see them, and I see the patterns too of spending and buying. So from that standpoint, we need like 10x that type of people, on the one end. On the other side, we need hundreds of thousands of everyday users who buy maybe one thing or two things in a week. You need all of it. But VeVe's got a very good base to start from. There are a lot of people who believe extensively in VeVe. There's a lot of people who believe in David and Dan and are here because they believe in it. And you can see them. These are the people who are buying OMI. I mean, there's also a commercial point to OMI. Obviously, it's a very small part of what I have in life. And for me, I just want to buy it and keep it. I don't want to be trading it up and down and stuff like that. But there's a commercial part to it. So there's people who buy and they exit a certain point, some of it at a certain point, and then they get back in. And if you look at the number of people that are in OMI and have that belief in OMI and have waited for the markets to turn. Remember, it's not one person kind of doing something so spectacular that makes that coin move. When the market turns, a lot of stuff does well, and the guy who has the biggest, whatever, brings in the biggest flow.
So there's before I get to this, there's the OMI chain swap site. I think that's been down for right now. I think they'll have that fixed up. I don't know if there's a timeline, but okay. They are working on it. When you're talking about these big whales, I feel like what people are not understanding is that, or at least some people don't understand it, is that when you have, let's say, at a zero, what do we have, 12,000 monthly active wallets?
I think so. Somewhere between 12 and 15. I think it'll grow. Personally, I think by Q1, it goes to like 20. I think the numbers grow. I think we get back up to 20, 25 by Q1 in terms of monthly actives. And I think that by Q2, if the whole US kind of landscape changes after January 20th, where you have like a different SEC chair who is totally pro crypto, and that actually goes through and everything. You never say what happens in this place, man. But let's assume that goes through, that person's there. Number two, the US actually passes measures that attracts Bitcoin miners in. Trump's talked about bringing them in. But if they actually become like the place, we want not just for you to do business here, but we want to make this the most attractive place for Bitcoin mining. And you bring those miners in, and then the reserves, they buy Bitcoin, and we don't know how much they'll buy, right? But if the US government goes, the Russians and the Chinese are not going to sit silent. The Chinese already changed their mindset, by the way. The Chinese have already said crypto's not illegal. They're already talking about Bitcoin miners. China's now rushing, they're scrambling to get their shit together before January 20th. But China will be a huge Bitcoin place, and they're going to completely reverse course. I think the Russians would do it too. And I think the Europeans and everybody would be like, we're being stupid if we're not in it. And,
oh God, yeah, Europe is wrecked.
Yeah, and Canada's already big in Bitcoin mining. And so my sense is that if the governments start taking that position, then the companies also, and who knows, maybe the companies move a little faster on it. everybody's seen Michael Saylor and what they've done with MicroStrategy. And I don't think it's a strategy for everybody, but if that grows and more mainstream, Bitcoin becomes more mainstream with people, like there's a lot of people in the communities I hang out with, the investor community, who are more old school. Don't get me wrong, they're very technologically savvy, they're advanced and stuff, but they're just not into crypto. I mean, they put money in quantum, they put money in AI, they put money in all these other chips and stuff like that, right? They're chasing all the new stuffs, new shiny. I'm just not in crypto. But even those guys are paying attention now, right? Like there's not a single meeting, where they, at least now it comes up, they acknowledge, right? Like these guys all know I'm in crypto. Like there's a group that I meet with on a regular basis. When Bitcoin hit 100K, they all kind of discussed Bitcoin. And previously, they never talked about it in any meeting, right? I used to always laugh and said, if you ever want to put money in crypto, let me know. That's my other thing. But now they discuss it with me. So that narrative's changing. When that changes, then you have more NFTs. Then you have, and if the whole metaverse thing, right? If all this Apple Vision Pro becomes like a $500 or $1,000. Well, I don't think it'll be $500 because the phone's $1,000. So, I think the price point of $3,500 to $4,000 is too high. I think $1,000 to $1,500 would be a good price point. Maybe even cheaper. Maybe they have two models, and you have Ray-Ban Metas that, let's say, if they bring in all the AR and stuff like that, and crypto gets integrated into more mainstream payments of digital assets, right? Not just NFTs, but all this RWA that they're talking about. By the way, Pag's got some great investments. Every name he said, he's super smart, man. He's super bright. And I think his strategy was not wrong. At the point when he pulled out, VeVe had some legal troubles. And he basically, for whatever reason, he had no patience. He took it out. He put in all these other coins. And he's I'm sure he's done well. And all the coins he talked about. I have Avalanche, I have Chainlink, I have all those, they've all done very well. So, for someone like, PAGs, that makes sense. But the whole point being that RWAs will grow too, right? The use of blockchain technology for bonds and real estate assets and driver's licenses and all kinds of other things that get digitized on the blockchain. Crypto will be a currency for it, right? You're not going to use freaking fiat on it.
Oh,
you're going to use crypto
100%.
for it. And you're going to use different types of coins for it. You're not going to use Bitcoin, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you do, but I don't think so.
No.
Right? It's going to be Ethereum. It's going to be AVAX. It's going to be Solana. It's going to be all these other things, right? It's going to be Layer 0. You name it, Cardano. And
at some point,
those will do well. But if those do well, then NFTs become more mainstream, and they become more accepted. And if that happens, now you're looking at a better kind of an outcome, where VeVe, there's an inflow into VeVe, right? What do you think?
I think
Where
at
did I miss
some
it
point
here?
you have the big institutions, whether it's like State Street, Vanguard, BlackRock, or even stuff like Wall Street, and you have like the NASDAQ, they're all going to want their transactions on chain.
Yeah.
And whoever's able to go and get that done, that hundreds of billions of dollars will flow into that, whoever's able to do that. And you could have one for each, you could have all of them do whatever. But then again, what happens to crypto in general as a lot of money comes on board? You have Charles Hoskinson, last week gave that prediction of $250,000 to $500,000 per Bitcoin in 2 years. And what if he's conservative with that? What if there's there's a lot of other companies right now that are taking a page out of Michael Saylor's playbook? You have a lot of these rate cuts that we have next year. You have the regulation rollbacks. And if you have like $6 trillion rip into the market over the first 6 months, I don't know, like $600 billion of that goes into crypto. And on top of that,
you have to think about, the amount of money sitting on the sideline and say 1%. If 1% flows in 1 year and 2% in year 2 and 3% in year 3, I just made up those numbers, but that was sort of the initial thinking was, hey, every company should put at least 1% of what they have, liquid assets into, this into Bitcoin. But that something like, like all these consulting companies, man, they all write strategies, and the same strategy circulates, right? If McKinsey goes around telling people, and BCG and Booz and these guys and the CPAs and whatever, all these, financial advisors and shit like that, they start telling everybody, hey, what if Bitcoin hits 13.5 million and whenever this guy says, right, Saylor says, in what is it, like 13 years or 31 years or whatever? How many years did he say? 13.5 million?
I forget what his
Okay,
timeline
whatever,
was.
right?
Yeah.
It's in our lifetime, at least we think. For most people in their lifetime. So what if it does hit 13.5 million? Do you want to be the guy who's freaking, didn't put even 1% of your money in it, right?
Of course.
And I think that's kind of playing in people's head now, right? Because they've seen the trajectory. So now there's a lot of people to get in at even 100K, and but that changes. That changes the outlook for, and people that have been here early. Every one of you guys, man, every one of you guys who's here, if you had any coin or you bought any coin in the down market, like in the last 6 months ago, 10 months ago, or 15 months ago, if you bought any coin, whether it was Solana, this, that, AVAX, whatever, even as late as summer, if you bought in the summer, you're up 200, 300% on some coins. Some are even up like 700, 800%, right?
Yeah.
Like we're all early. We made money, man.
Yeah.
Like shit, I made money on OMI now. Like I haven't made it, but like the OMI, like I bought OMI, 40 million OMI at 0.004 or 45 or something like that. And I bought a bunch at 0.0027. I'm already up, man. Like I'm 250, 300% up according to this, and I could sell it, but I'm not, I'm not.
Yeah, it's too early. Like the gains have not yet begun to run.
See, PAGS will come back. My forecast is PAGS comes back,
Yeah,
PAGS needs
100%.
to see PAGS needs to see some proof points, right? He's not coming in till he sees some real proof points. When the proof points happen, when there's a major exchange, when the app works well, when there's more new users, and his metrics. Everybody should have their own criteria. Nobody's saying PAGS' criteria is wrong. He's made a lot of money. He's a very smart guy too. He just can't talk to me or us. and there's a whole different philosophy around new user growth versus driving engagement and stuff. Anyway, but yeah, so I think we're early. We've made some decent money already, and some of us may be down relative to our earliest investments in OMI and other stuff. Some maybe not, but we'll see.
Yeah. So when all of this money comes into crypto, and I'm certain a bunch goes into OMI, where we've been, I think, suppressed and we've been weighed as very undervalued. Eventually we'll go to where we should, and then we'll go to where we shouldn't as super overvalued. And a lot of that will go into collectibles. You'll have people that say like, okay, I have all this money, but nobody knows I have all this money. So let me buy the secret rare Spider-Man. Let me buy 3 of them, and they flex. And again, what happens when you double or triple the amount of users that we have, whether it be the untapped revenue of the old people that start to reactivate, and then you have the new people coming in for the first time, you're going to have this inflection point where, again, not only do you get tens of thousands of users, and a lot of those will be everyday people, but even if 1% of 1% of those are whales, which they will be, you have these whale wars. You have these people that are going to go in and fight. Like a lot of this stuff is stupid scarce, and even the stuff that isn't, like I'm not majorly bullish on like Bucky Barnes Captain America that has like 16,000 mints, but his sub 100s I'm definitely bullish on.
Yeah.
So it doesn't. Yeah.
You just talking shop for a little bit, right? As a collector,
Yeah.
the earliest stuff on VeVe is just very historic, very sentimental. When Todd McFarlane Batman fell to like, I don't know what it felt like, $350 or $400 or something. I was just like, oh my God, like this is a no-brainer. It's absolutely a no-brainer. And for me, I'm personally in Marvel Comics 1, right? So I think I had like 500 or 400 or 500 Marvel Comics 1s. And this was like maybe about 7-8 months back. And then when the price of the MC1 Uncommon, which is my favorite, the Uncommon fell to, because there's only 6,000 of them, compared to 48,000 of the Common. So when that fell to like $35, I was like, oh my God. I started buying them, and I bought some of them at like 20 some bucks. And I'm like, this is a no-brainer. Just keep adding it. And then I started buying the Commons as well. When the Commons fell to like 18, 19 gems, 20 gems, I'm like, oh, you got to be kidding me, man. Like this is the first comic from Marvel, and when the market and the sentiment improves, and that's the underlying hypothesis I personally have, right? And I've had that belief, and maybe wrong about it, but so far not yet, right? I've already gone from $20 to like $35. If I sell my 350 Marvel comic ones that I bought, in the last whatever X months, I already doubled that. I'm already double on everything. Ultra rares are double. The rares are like more than 250%. The uncommons are, like almost double. and the commons are maybe about 60-70% higher. And even the MC1 secret rares, 60-70% up since I bought them. I bought like how many did I buy? Maybe 2 more, 4 more, something like that. I don't even remember how many I bought, but yeah. But I'll tell you that, I mean, those early ones are no-brainers, were no-brainers for me. And some of those season 1 stuff, the collectibles, are just super valuable and super sentimental. Oh man, Ben, dude, like, we're so happy to have you here, man. We needed some adult supervision for those guys, you know? They're super busy, man. They really did, man. Come on. They're brilliant founders. They're chasing so many things. They're fighting so many fights. And we need, he said it best, going from a startup to a scale up. And Ben's the right guy to scale up. And I trust Ben. The first couple of weeks that when he spoke, I was listening, man. He was like, he'd listen patiently, but he wouldn't put up a shit, and he's not scared to come up and make his point. I mean, that speaks loudly when he came yesterday into your space. I mean, he was just listening and he came into space and he spoke to Pat and he was like, you know what, man, like, you have your right to your opinion, but you're wrong on these things. And I had more things to say because, Ben gave a point of view from the company side. I have a point of view as a collector, as a large collector on VeVe, and somebody that runs all these groups and stuff like that, who interacts with all these communities. So, and I really did want to put the whole new user thing is a good thing, but not the strategy. If you want to be financially solvent and thrive, there are many other levers you have to pull, man. And these guys are pulling it. They're pulling it.
Especially now, like when go to the hires, they hired like 6 or 7 people, all for marketing. And I'll tell you that I know at least one of them that's hitting the ground running. And this stuff is being worked on, and they're not going to wait for, let's wait for the holidays. Like, no, they're doing it right now.
All right, man, let's do the giveaway, man, while we're at it.
Oh, yeah.
How about this?
All
so
right.
Why don't you figure out how to give it away? And all I would need from you, Randy, is a name and an address to ship it to. Whoever's, just so you know, if you don't want to be doxxed and whatever, in the US, I don't need your name. I will just literally write whatever your, handle is, but your address needs to be correct. It doesn't need to be a home address. You can get it shipped to your work. You can get it shipped to your friends. You can get it shipped wherever you want to. So, and I'm putting literally no conditions on it. Initially, I was thinking, you got to have a VeVe account or whatever. No conditions. Whatever Randy does, whoever you pick.
Okay.
The name and address I get, I will ship this tomorrow.
The question will be this: who sings the song "I Can Walk on Water, I Can Fly"?
Where do they write that? In the feed here? In the YouTube?
Yeah, they write it in the comments. And whoever gets it, again, who sings the song "I Can Walk on Water, I Can Fly"? Like the "I will never be afraid again. I will keep on fighting till." I'm gonna have to go in and just. All right, so you have. Am I tripping on here? There we go. Mark Quinn got it. Base Hunter. People kept saying Oasis, and I was like, oh wait, what? 3 people said Oasis, but it is. I
can't think of a better dude to win, man.
Oh, dude, I love Mark. Mark is so freaking cool. He's
Mark, do you have one of these? No, right? I don't think he came out. Did he come out, Mark?
He came out to New York Comic Con, I think, last year. Did he come? I don't think he came this year. He came last year.
He just had a baby, right?
Yes, he did.
Mark just had a baby, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And
congratulations, Mark. Just send me a DM, and we'll take it from there. I'll get this out to you. I have his address and everything. Just want to make sure it's the correct one. So.
Who was Oasis?
I was trying to get Mr. Rolex to give away one too. So I don't know. He'll pick out something else tomorrow. So catch Mr. Rolex tomorrow. He's a super busy guy. He's got 500 things in his mind, and I'm sure he'll be up for a giveaway. So just ask him, and he'll pull out something cool from his collection. And he's a very generous man too. Yeah. So he's a lovely guy. So ask Dr. Rolex and Randy. So do you want to? What are you talking about tomorrow?
With Rolex?
Yeah.
Whatever. Whatever. Like you know me. I don't plan these things.
Pokemon. The Pokemon.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely Pokemon. Definitely just how his mind and feelings have changed over the last like few years. I mean, I had him on before and just be like, what do you expect? What do you want? What are some of the other things that you have? I mean, he's in a pretty unique position than most people. Like, okay, well, you get a little free time. Like, what does someone like you in your position do with their free time? Where do they go on and have fun with? Is there something that you haven't been able to get yet despite your success? So I don't know, just things like this. Whatever. I'll probably forget that question by the time like tomorrow comes. And then obviously Pokemon. And does he want to be the very best, like no one ever was? Is it just a collecting thing for him? Does he actually play? Does he like rage quit whenever like Misty shows up and all of her water energies go on her Lapras? I don't know. I want to see his reactions to things. How does he?
You can't battle as yet, correct? Can you battle?
Yeah. You battle from the first day.
Oh,
so
okay.
that's what,
I need to figure out how to do that battle thing, because I keep seeing that thing and it says, okay, I will do that. I've been collecting cards so far.
Okay, so you don't need to know how to battle. Well, one, there's a tutorial.
Oh, there's a tutorial. I've done only two chapters, so I will finish the chapters. If I have a
very long you get more points for that.
Huh?
And as you get more points, you can get more cards. You level up, you open up more cards. So every time you level up, you get like different things to do.
I'm already learning, Randy. I'm already learning. But I will do the tutorial tomorrow, and then I have a long flight, so.
Oh yeah, you're gonna be gone for a couple of weeks, right? Yeah.
So. But anyway, so I did want to cover one more topic.
Sure.
If you're right. VeVeVerse. I know this was a topic that came up yesterday briefly as well in that conversation between Pags and Ben and stuff like that. So, again, good conversation. Pags obviously had not seen, any of the content that VeVe has put out about VeVeVerse. So he was, even questioning whether you can go into an environment and do whatever. Like, dude, like that information has been available for a long time, right? So Pags just wasn't up to speed on it. We need to get Pags up to speed on some of these things. So, but in the meantime, I wanted to give a different perspective, which is as a beta user, right? I have been in the beta from the first go. Like the first 30 people, I was in that. And then they expanded it to, I don't know, a couple hundred people. Might have been 150 or 250 or something like that, or somewhere in between. So on the VeVeVerse, one thing you have to be clear about is don't expect miracles. If you expect a miracle that you launch VeVeVerse and then suddenly everything, there's like millions of people are coming and we're going to spend all our time in the VeVeVerse, that's not going to happen. When the whole VeVeVerse conversation happened 3-4 years ago or whatever, that was a different time. And at that time, people were willing to do anything to play with NFTs. And metaverses had a lot of money. And metaverses were growing, they were developing it, and they had a lot of action. But with the slowdown or maybe the early disappointments with the first wave of the, goggles, all of them, right? Ray-Ban Meta is not really for anything other than taking pictures. The Quest 3 is a good product at the right price point, but still has challenges. And the Apple Vision Pro is way too expensive, but addresses a lot of concerns, right? So it just doesn't happen that way. So when you think about all of those factors, after the initial euphoria, there's all these other factors at play now. And VeVe is going to launch VeVeVerse. So VeVeVerse is going to be really cool, but it's going to be more of each one building their own pads. And that's where you can be smart. If you buy some of these dioramas and stuff, you get a flying start because you can use one of them as your castle, like you can, like, sure, you can blow up your golden moments and use, 4 of them as the walls and 1 of them upside down. Like that shit, that's not cool, man. That's not cool. You can do it. And then you can use the light from the glow and the orb and all that stuff. Those are all cool things to do, but if you go and get the dioramas and you bring them in and you get a good start with those and then you customize it. Those are ways in which, so there's an initial phase where everybody will be building and flexing. Everybody, whoever's in it is going to build and flex. Then you're going to have the guys who are power builders, like the Tails and those kind of people, the designers, those people are going to take it to the next level, and they're going to sell their creation to you, or they're going to offer their services to you. And that's when there's a renaissance of that, where you'll see the timeline and the feed full of all these beautiful things. But it's still that type of building. There's a creative energy, the creation there. Then there's this whole communication side to it, right? So I have a pad, Dr. Rolex comes in, Michael comes in, Tony comes in, and then we sit in my pad and chat, or we go to somebody else's pad and chat. That part, it will take time because, it's habit building. We spend less time there compared to on X or other things. So what really happens, nobody knows. But my sense is that would ramp up over time. And it's also a function of how much engagement and how much gamification happens there, and how much the people like us go in there. And one critical driver of it is if it's mobile versus desktop, because nobody sits in front of their desktop that long other than a few people. Most people would want a mobile experience. You're not going to carry a laptop all over the place, right? Or it's just not going to happen, man. So I think those kinds of things, and I don't know where VeVe is on all of that stuff now with VeVeVerse, but the mobile side and all that stuff. So depending on that, you would see some engagement and stuff. And then I think it goes to the next level when the IPs build their own pads. I mean, Ron English already has a design for something he wants to build. He shared it with me. He's like, I want to have a pad like this. And he shared some sketches with me and stuff privately, right? And so I've also seen some others who want to build stuff. So some of the IPs and the artists and stuff will have theirs. They'll have engagement in their pads. I think it becomes like Clubhouse, but next gen, more immersive.
Yeah, it's gonna be different from Clubhouse. Like Clubhouse is like a thing where you just have. Or are you talking about like the app Clubhouse or like?
The Clubhouse, like before X Spaces and stuff, right? People hang out and chat for hours and hours. Except in VeVeVerse, you actually go in. It's your avatar. You're wearing clothing. You pass comments on each other's clothing.
Or no clothing. Shout out to the nudists out there.
I don't know about that, man. But
Y'all know
I don't think my pad's gonna be clothing optional though.
Well, did you see the new? Did you see the new ad that they have on Google Marketplace?
Which one?
I'll find it and I'll show it to you.
You're talking about Sabertooth?
No. It is Google Play Store has new pictures where you can see the app, and this is not one of the collectibles. So here's
can you show it to me? I don't have Google.
No, I did not show it to you yet. I just thought about it yesterday.
Oh wow, that's amazing, man.
But that's not Miles. That's not our collectible. That's like somebody dressing up as Miles. So it says augmented reality.
Yeah.
Stand side by side with you. Have you seen this?
No, this is pretty cool though.
So it says stand side by side with your favorite characters and the heroes in the real world. Unleash your creativity in AR and share it with the world. Okay. So it's somebody that's dressing up as Miles, because that's not Miles. He's a little too thick.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that is, and I don't know why you wouldn't have Miles in there next to you.
Yeah.
So I'm curious.
That's amazing, man. That's amazing. I love seeing that, man. Anyway, we'll see. But again, don't set yourself, for disappointment. It's a very cool technology. It's not a VeVe. I think the whole space in general slowed down the pace at which they go. And all of them, Sandbox, all of them are like that. They're all in the same boat. There's a slowing that happened, and I think that there will be a speed up on it when the hardware comes up, when more adoption happens, and I'm looking forward to that. Oh, Rolex went hard on Pocket Pokemon.
Yeah,
I think he has like 30,000 cards or something, man. Like I don't, geez, man, like 10,000 or 30,000 or something.
Dude, him and Clever Jerk, they're the two dudes that go.
Grubba too. I think Grubba has a lot. Grubba has a lot. You should, I literally, you should form like a whale group, of that whole thing, Randy. I mean, maybe if you put a note out saying I'm going to cover the Pokemon this with what we believe is the #1 whale out there, Dr. Rolex.
So there is a group already. It's not necessarily a whale group. It's just people that have the app. And they're
cool too.
So there's not a ton of people in there. There's like 70 people, so close to 69.
It's a lot, man.
Yeah. And it's just people that are super.
I feel left out now, man. Like maybe I should start buying some shit. And try. What's the entry criteria for that group? Who runs it?
Chambo Fett is the admin.
All right, I know Chambo.
Yeah, ask him to add you. I don't. Oh, I guess I could add you.
No, don't do that as yet. Let me get my shit together. So let me
Okay.
earn my stripes. Don't let me just like that. Raise the bar, man. Otherwise,
Maybe the
anybody can.
thing should be like you have to have had. So you can, if you want to learn, like do like the auto battles, and then you
Yeah.
could be like, okay, this is what you
Yeah,
do.
at
This is what
least
you
do
do.
one battle and be at some level before you get in, man. Otherwise, you're just like, what the hell? Like, I don't want to be in a group and I be the bottom feeder there, man. Like, what's your level? 12.
It's like 23. It's not a big level. It's
Okay. Well, I'm 13 or something now, man. I gotta get. Let me.
yeah. I
Maybe
mean,
end of December I'll join. Give me the holidays to catch
I
up.
think I think Johnny Dunn's like level 50, and
Whoa.
yeah,
Oh,
dude,
he hit that hard, huh?
well, that's all he does. Like, is just play this game. Like in every single battle, he streams it. He does all that with it. I'm really curious because this is a new way of battling. Back in the day, what you had to do is like right now, if you knock out three or sometimes two of your opponent's cards, you win. Two or three depending on whether it's Ultramax or not. But back in the day, it was much more of a slow burn. It was you had to defeat your opponent, six of your opponent's cards or their monsters in
Yeah.
order to win. And
Yeah.
each card was like a prize, and every turn you didn't get an energy. Here, every turn you get an energy to put on. So it makes for a much quicker game. But I'm curious that if one day they have a little bit of like hey, battle the new way or battle the old way. And right now there are only 3 expansion packs. You have the Mewtwo, the Charizard, and then the Pikachu packs. But you're obviously going to have other cards. Like you only have like a couple hundred cards that you can do. And I'm really curious to see where that goes. I'm curious to see how other people, like for the original Super Smash Brothers, I don't think there was anyone better in the world in that game than I was. And then when GameCube
What?
Super Smash,
Really?
yes, for N64 Super Smash Brothers, I honestly do not believe at that time there was anyone better than that in the world.
There was a guy in Oklahoma. What's his name? Only One Link, right? You better than him too? He played tournaments and stuff.
So they didn't have tournaments back in the N64 days. They did at your local
Oh, okay,
GameStop,
okay.
and I crushed.
Got it.
But the online stuff didn't
Randy,
really exist.
I'm just testing this theory out, man. You said you're the best in the world in it. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, at that time, yeah.
Seriously? Like how? So
Yeah. So be advised, it was a little weird as a kid.
no, but tell me, what made you great? Like, why do you call yourself the
Oh,
one of the
so
top players or the top player?
So one, you could battle at like your local GameStop. Like you had your friends, in like the neighborhood you were at, but then you had the GameStop and all, they had tournaments there, and I would crush. And I saw the reason why is because you can do your own training. Like you can like play the game, like the main game, but it's not really that hard.
Yeah.
What makes it hard is you can give these computers 3 level 9s like a handicap, and you could have fighting like 2 Links and like 3 and a Captain Falcon or whatever in Hyrule was like hard, or at the FX stage was really hard. And I would fight all of them, all 3 level 9s versus me at the same time. Now my main was Fox. And I've done it with all of these characters. I've bought 3 Marios, Mario and Luigi's. I've bought Ness. I've really bought. I mean, you don't really want to fight Jigglypuff because that's it's like such a weak character and it's very easy to combat. But Mario, Captain Falcon, like these are the ones that have like these drill attacks, and I got really good at that. And people like, how do you do that? And maybe there were some people in Asia at that time were doing stuff like that, and I didn't know because you couldn't connect them at then. But even people like later on in life, like, hey, let's play the old Super Smash Bros. Game, just destroy them. Yeah,
that's amazing, Randy. When I asked you a question, suddenly you went into like,
super
started,
mode.
You had this whole Rain Man kind of look at you. How you like, like you were in your own world of genius there, man. That's funny. I figured I got you excited there. I got you super excited. But listen, I mean, I'll have to listen to you talk about the strategy for the Pokemon card game. Let me get a little bit more familiar with it. Take it to the next level, buy some cards, and do some battles and get the hang of all of that other stuff. But I'd love to kind of hear you talk about it, man. It seems like you got a real skill set there. I'd love for you to cover that content sometime.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we'll go over a bit tomorrow. If VeVe
you'll do it tomorrow with Rolex?
Yeah. 'Cause, I mean, he's
Awesome.
super into that.
Awesome. I'm in, man. I'm in. I'll listen.
So we're all so we'll do that a bit tomorrow, and then obviously if VeVe ever gets Pokemon and they announce it,
That'd be
I originally
amazing.
said 24-hour stream, but it'll
Yeah.
probably be like a 48-hour stream.
Yeah.
Maybe beat my old record of 69. I don't know,
Yeah.
because I've probably spent between 35,000 and 40,000 hours on
Yeah.
Pokemon related stuff in my life.
Yeah.
And if it takes 10,000 hours to be a master at something, I'm like a fourth degree black belt in this. There's very few other people that would have this like breadth of knowledge over this. But and granted, it's very similar to like chefs. Like you can cook as a chef in Italy for like 20
Yeah.
years and be like, and you could only be proficient at X amount of dishes and X amount of stuff.
Sure.
And it's I don't want to say that's similar in Pokemon, but you can, yeah. I'll go crazy with that. I will like never stop streaming.
It's amazing. By the way, what jacket is that? What are you wearing? What kind of is that the Stanley one too, or no?
No, it's my friend.
Randy,
You never met Mike. I had to introduce you to him. Big OMI whale, like
Yeah.
400-ish million OMI. And he's got a gold logo.
Oh,
But
I've never met him.
you have not met him yet. No, he hasn't gone to an event. You might have maybe like no, you haven't. I think I gave you his like for his hat.
Oh yeah, I shipped some stuff. Okay, yes, all right. I shipped the stuff to somewhere else.
Yeah, but it was like a few months, like 6 months ago, whatever.
All right.
Yeah, he just gave me his jacket.
Awesome. Well, it looks
yeah,
good.
I was like, oh, this is dope.
By the way, this one's the Stan Lee one.
I saw, yeah.
Man, like, ever since I got this jacket, so many compliments, man. Look at the inside, man.
Yeah, what number is it?
This one's 15.
Oh, sweet.
15 out of 100. So I have the other ones too from the other two artists as well. So I've got one of each. Yeah, they're pretty good. They're all decent mints. Yeah, pretty cool. But I got so many compliments for this jacket, man. It's got
yeah, the VeVe on the sleeve. Yeah,
it's got a sleeve too, man. It's very cool, and even the jacket lining, the pocket lining on the inside too is really amazing. They've just done an incredible job with this jacket as well. I love it, man.
Oh, I bet that feels so good. Yeah, I think Rain and Dr. stuff, they have theirs as well. I think the FanBam has it. There's a lot of
Rolex got some too. I don't think it's sold out. Is there still some? Hey, how you doing, Pascal?
Oh, he got multiple Rolex?
Oh, that's Rolex, man. Like, does he not get multiples, man? So he's got a bunch. You can ask him. He bought a bunch. But I don't know if they're all sold out or not. But it's done pretty well though.
Yeah. Pixelput is asking who I mained in Super Smash Bros. 64. That was Fox McCloud over there from the Lilat system. That was my main. I dabbled in in Pikachu, but yeah, the best one was Fox. I mean, some people like Mario. He's really good, but Fox is just always love him.
Nice.
Top tier. Yeah, Mark is gonna go all in. I'm same. I actually am worried that I would not sell my OMI and put in charge. I'd be worried that I would take my OMI and just buy all the Pikachu.
Does Figpin have Pokemon so far?
I don't believe so. I looked yesterday on eBay and they didn't have anything.
Why don't you ask Dan? You're friends with Dan too now, right?
Oh yeah, I love him. Yeah, we talked. What are we? Yesterday?
That's amazing.
2 days ago.
What else does he? They have Dragon Ball Z though, right? I think I've seen Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, they just had a new Dragon Ball Z. So what's really for the Saiyans, which there aren't that many because their planet was destroyed by Frieza. It was wild. Anyway, they're just complete genocide. So the Saiyans, there's like 4 of them. There's these alien race, and when they reach like a certain level and they have like an emotional trigger, they can go to what's called Super Saiyan, and their hair changes from black to blonde. And for these Super Saiyan pins, they look like just normal whatever, but then when you turn the lights off, they glow in the dark and it's like blonde. I was like, oh, that's so cool. It was pretty dope.
Oh, that's great, man. We should ask Dan. Dan Williams. We should get the Figpin guys to share with us what's coming up, what's their holiday schedule like. The thing with Figpin is if you get to a certain level, you have access to some really cool stuff, and at least I'm not, and I don't think most of our guys are at that level.
Wait, did you ask about his holiday party?
Huh?
What did you just ask about his holiday party?
Oh no, for the holiday season. What do they?
Oh,
What
okay,
kind of drops do they have? Right?
All right.
Like they must have some cool stuff for Christmas, right? Christmas, New Year's. So
I'm sure.
find
I
out
mean, they
what
have
they've
Sonic.
got.
He's
Yeah,
not really
find out what
Christmassy.
they've got. Like I want to figure out how to like what will it take? Like how much do I have to spend on that app, and what do I need to do to get to like a decent level on FigPin? Because of all those apps, I like FigPin a lot. You know,
Yeah.
they captured my imagination with the KFC, and also with the VeVe pins.
So I'm trying to get an invite to KFC's Christmas party because
you want the
they
pin.
have, yeah,
So
they have the stuff that they're giving away.
Where's KFC? KFC is in somewhere in is it in Tennessee or where's KFC's office? There's
I'm
one
going
in
to guess
Dallas.
Kentucky.
Kentucky, yeah, I guess.
I'm guessing. All right. So where is
There's
KFC?
one in Dallas. I know there's an office in Dallas, but
yeah, it's Louisville, Kentucky. Yeah.
Louisville, Kentucky. Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna hang out outside the office in Dallas and figure out if somebody had anything. Dan, I wrote to Dan. I said, Dan Williams, I said, hey, Dan, whoever your partner is for that, man, can you figure out if we can get a couple of those 150 for the VeVe fam and one for me, please? Charity begins with home, right?
Yeah,
but
I did.
He said no, they're not keen on doing any of that stuff. So, he didn't really come back with anything. So it doesn't seem like we're gonna get it. We're gonna have to shake down one of the employees, man. KFC.
So that's what happens at Pokemon Worlds every year. So everyone that's insanely good at the trading card game, they get invited to Worlds, and if you place in the top 32, top 16, then you have quarterfinalists, semifinalists, finalists, and then champion. The people that win those cards are very coveted because again, why I love the gold and silver VeVe logo so much is because these cards you have to be at a specific place at a specific time and complete a specific task, and they hand those cards out for free. And those cards are just so coveted by the community. There's people that pay their plane ticket, they get a hotel, and they go to Worlds, and they like hound these people that win these cards. Like, give me $500 for this card, and they're like, okay, shit, I'll take it. And then they go and they get it graded, and it's a major thing. I don't know why I brought this up.
I guess because
we're like hounding these KFC employees. Cool, yeah, we're like hounding these KFC employees. Like, hey, you got any more of those KFC pins?
So the guy who used to be CEO of Wendy's, I know well. I mean, I sit on a board with him, and he's now become the CEO of, I think, Papa John's, one of the pizza companies.
Oh, so Wendy's, I think, is they're headquartered in Ohio.
I think so.
Yeah, I think Ernie knows his. He used to know like David, like the OG. I don't know who owns it now, but wait, so you know this
part of a company. The company owns it. I know this. The former CEO I used to, he's the CEO, the former CEO of Wendy's. I know he's now the CEO of one of the pizza companies.
I mean, I don't want to say like, but did you be like, hey, can you introduce me to the new CEO? I got a buddy of mine that wants to do a collab with him.
I could. I mean, that's not a big deal. I mean,
Mr. MC1, why wasn't that your first thought to connect with David?
Yeah, I mean, I know the CEO, the former CEO of Wendy's very well. I mean, his name's Todd, but I meet Todd maybe once a quarter. So we sit on the same board. So I go meet him at those events, and we watch a football game together and stuff like that. So,
that's so cool.
Yeah. So happy to have that conversation sometime. Maybe I should connect Dan to.
Yeah, we could do that too.
Yeah, and then we'll get the corporate pin, man. That would be cool. Let's get the deal done, and then we get a piece of the action there, Randy.
That'd be great. Yeah, let's get that.
We don't want any money or nothing. We want one of the first collectibles, right?
Well, I mean, let's not be too hasty there. Dan sponsors the channel, and we want him to continue
Randy wants some cheese. Randy wants some cheese for the bread there.
Heck yeah, I want that cheese. What's better, like normal bread or garlic bread? Like garlic bread, like there are memes about that, Mr. MC1.
That's a good analogy that he would understand as the CEO of a pizza company. That's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool. We'll let me see. That's an idea to chase down.
Yeah, I have this hankering. There's like a Domino's thing that you can get. Like it's not normal cheese or it's not normal sauce that you get. You get this type of like white sauce on the pizza. There's like bacon bit. It's so good. I kind of want to get that tonight. But I already had Taco Bell this morning, so I don't know.
All right. Well, see, seems like you're a fast food guy, man. You do all this. You don't have one of those healthy food kind of things. You don't have like a True Food Kitchen or Flower
Oh,
Child or one
oh,
of those.
the kitchen is gorgeous. We can make anything we want here. It's a beautiful kitchen, but I'm just a little lazy. And then I don't like to clean up. I don't like dishes. So well, Ernie's not here right now. I think he'll be back tonight, maybe.
Oh, okay.
So I wanted to have him come home to a clean house. So there's no
Okay.
dishes there. There's no, I didn't,
Well, say hi to Ernie for me. Look forward to connecting with him soon, man.
Of course, of course. I will get. So yeah, is Rolly coming by? Is he just
I
like
don't think
out?
so. I
All
don't think
right,
he's
I'll,
coming.
I'll see him tomorrow.
He's probably pretty beat. He's got a bunch of kids, and it's probably his family man. So especially if he's going to be with you tomorrow, he probably needs to take care of stuff today. But yeah, so I don't know if you wanted to get to some people's comments and stuff. Was there anything still outstanding or?
I've been going through them. The only thing is Mark Quinn says, does Viz Media have Pokemon? I don't know if they do or not.
I don't know either. Actually, I think they do. Don't we do
They
the
do?
homework on it? Viz Media do have Pokemon, if I'm not mistaken.
Nice. I mean, they have Rooster Teeth, and I really want my Ruby RWBY. I really want that on VeVe.
Because I heard, when that whole conversation was happening, I heard somebody saying, "Hey, well, if they got Viz Media and they should have Pokemon because Pokemon's already there." I think there's some comics or something.
Oh, maybe Pokemon Adventures they might have.
Yeah, something. Viz Media has something I think related to Pokemon. I should probably do some homework on it. Maybe that could be that could be the stuff that's coming, man.
So there are so many.
That would be pretty cool. That's a comic too, right? Wasn't there like a Pokemon comic?
Yeah, the manga is super interesting because
that would be wild, man. If VeVe were to get the Pokemon comic on VeVe for the holidays.
That would be so much fun.
Do you think we cracked the code now, man? Do you think we got do you think we've kind of somehow stumbled on the right thing here?
I hope so. I mean, I've hypothesized about this
on the channel before. To guess all this stuff. I mean, there should be some price for guessing it correctly, right?
That'd be great.
All the speculation, man.
So I know you read some of the comics like Evermind. Carl Troy, I spoke to yesterday. He said when we'll obviously have that panel when Evermind 3 comes out. It'll be next year. It's not coming out. I thought it might be in December, but it'll be next year, which is fine. But I would implore you. Well, for two reasons. If Pokemon comes out with that manga on VeVe, the original Pokemon Adventures, read it for two reasons. One, to just deepen your knowledge of like the greatest IP ever, and then two, it's really good. It's like I still thoroughly I read that every now and then, like at least once a year I'll go back and read like that manga series, and it's so incredible. That you have different stories going on each time, and then they intertwine the newer characters with it's just such a beautiful, like those like 7 or 14 like volumes are for the first two generations are impossibly written in the greatest way. Definitely recommend it.
Okay. Very impressed by Carl Troy, the guy behind 24/7 Comics. He is so incredibly bright, and he's such an amazing collector. I think that's why David and him get along very well too. The first time I met him in San Diego Comic-Con, it's such a lovely chat. He's so amazing. He showed me some pictures of the artwork he collects and stuff. And obviously we saw some of it in the background, in the interview with him. And then he kind of explained a little bit about what he's doing with these comics and these, independent comics and getting them created. And I thought, there's an independent comic. Yeah, great. That kind. Like I didn't take it that seriously, right? Until I read Evermind. I read that comic, man. It was amazing. Randy, that I put money in a lot of deep tech, right? So I'm invested in
the brain tips.
Anything that's physics and chemistry based, some kind of science that's driving new innovation that could disrupt something big, right?
Yeah.
I'm in it. So I've got a bunch of money in these kinds of companies, and I have multiple verticals like hypersonic flight, and don't need to go through all of it. But so one of the areas is the Neuralink competitor, the chip in the brain. Yeah. So there's a company called Paradromics. I'm an early investor in Paradromics. Like when they were super small, I have money in there. Not a lot, but I have money. It's like, but that technology is so fascinating. Like most people just say, oh, it's chip in the brain, we're all get wired, and we'll start doing all these things. Not like that, man. You put a chip in the brain, you're solving. The first time you put a chip in the brain, you're solving a very specific problem. What are you solving? You're helping blind people see. You're helping stroke victims with something, right? You're helping victims with paralysis to experience something, right? And so those kinds of applications of it are incredible. And any new technology, there is a good application and there's a bad application. Just the nuclear bomb, right? It could be a bomb, it could create energy, it could do both, right? And when a new technology comes up, you need people who have the imagination to paint that full sort of fan of outcomes that can happen from the most evil to the best. That comic, Evermind, now I've consumed a lot. I'm not an expert in it. I'm just an investor, but I've consumed a lot of papers on it. I studied the technology, and that comic is so fascinating. It stretches, because when you read all these papers, they all talk about the proper ways in which you'd use it and stuff. But this comic takes that technology, peels it apart into the good and the bad and the characters and the lab.
The bad is wild.
And the use of the technology, and in the good way and the bad way. That comic was so amazing for me, man. I just fell in love with that comic, Evermind. And I know that Dr. Fuse loves it. He's got a bunch of them. But that's when I connected with Carl, and I was like, hey, listen, man, if you ever do any other comics, first of all, this one, I want to read them all, man. I want to read them all. So he gifted me 1, 2, and 3, signed by Danny Wu and stuff like that. So, and Sean. But I've told him, look, if you do anything else like this, that style of creativity around science and breakthrough science and creating it into a storyline, oh man, I love it, man. And the work on it, the colors on it are amazing. He's got for the good, like he's got a bubblegum pink kind of color for associated with one side of it, and he's got some other type of colors associated with the more different applications of it, and how that color goes through the comic, how the characters engage. There's good character, bad character on the fence, and how that switches. Man, I don't want to give a story away, but if you haven't read the Evermind storyline, are you doing the review of it on your channel sometime?
When I had him on for the second comic that came on, we went over it then.
Sanity, right?
Both of them. I think we went over both of them.
Okay.
And it was just, oh god, it was so good. Yeah, it was
That's
awesome.
An amazing comic. Anyway, so those guys are pretty cool, man. I want to do more with them. So when they do like another Kickstarter for a new comic thing or whatever, just based on the storyline, I think me and some of the whales would, support. I don't want to commit on behalf of anybody, but we're all kind of agreed that we would take a look at the storyline and we would support. And we want to get in on this independent comic creation kind of thing. So might actually work out with VeVe too, because, like we won't do anything VeVe, but if they're getting it through their portal, right? What's it called, man? What's it called? The portal where you put the comics in?
The VeVe Comic Reader app?
No, where they submit it. You just use the word.
Oh, CGC?
No. VeVe created something by which comic creators can submit stuff, right? What's it called?
The Curator program. Okay.
Curator program.
Yeah.
I can't remember that word. It's Curator program. Yep. So we could basically on the back end fund people going into the Curator program. And
that would be nice.
It'd be nice to have some kind of perks to it. I mean, not will demand anything or whatever. Yeah. Like physical copies of the first one signed and all that other stuff, So, but that could be a real opportunity.
Yeah, it's harder than people think, because even for the first one that I'm doing, like, the artists tend to charge like a couple $100s per page, and rightfully so. They spend a lot of time on it. They brush it, pencil it, color it. But if you do like a 22-page comic, the spending a couple $1,000, like in like $4,000 or $5,000, and it's like, okay, and then you need like different pages for the cover arts, and it's like, oh damn, this is.
Artists need money to live too, right? I had dinner with an artist here earlier this week. So she is a pretty well-known comic art, cover art person, and I've met her at parties and stuff, and she's come out to my parties and stuff. But early this week, I actually had time to have a nice meal, which is just me, her, and this other person. And we had a long chat about their life story, their journey, how they create, how they sustain themselves, the good things about their business, the not so great things, how some of them, end up not making money because of certain things. It was a fascinating conversation. So it got me interesting, very interested in something like this.
So there's something I want to go over with you into brain-computer interfaces. Have you heard about brain organoid computers?
You brought it up with me last time too.
Oh, I did.
My
Okay,
bad. I haven't read. I have not read up about it. My bad. Tonight I will.
And they're so
brain
super
organoid
interesting.
computer. Okay, stem cell based something, right?
Yeah, they're well. What they do is they have these clumps of human brain cells, and they're grown in this dish, and they're attached to a computer chip.
Yeah.
And then the chips record like the neural activity from the organoid, and it sends information to it. And then the neurons are encouraged to learn by giving them small amounts of like dopamine.
Yeah.
And in many ways, that they are more efficient than conventional computers. They overcome the challenge of silicon-based computers. They improve the understanding. Like there's a lot of, and then they can do obviously bits of computing, and people can like rent it out. Like, can you do this for me? Can you do X, Y, and Z for me? And so yeah, the whole, I don't know, like $1 trillion business that'll eventually become.
So there's another company that I have an investment in, somewhat same lines, not what you were saying, more like mine, but it's called Cognition with an X. And so this is a super small startup, West Coast based. So they're building, think of the chip, except it's not in your brain, it's outside your brain and reading the neural signals inside your brain.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like theoretically, when they put the stethoscope, you're not inside the heart, but you can hear the heart, right?
Yeah.
So the question is, why do you really need to be inside the brain? Can you be outside the brain? And hey, Jaco, man, like, dude, like this man, he's a Bitcoin. Jaco, thank you very much. What you do, my friend. When I sold the hats, everybody paid me in fiat or ETH. Some people paid me in USDC. Jaco paid me only in Bitcoin. And I kept the Bitcoin. And that Bitcoin's it's the most profitable hat I ever sold. Bitcoin, it's 13.5 million. Jaco, Jaco, I might have to do something special, man, other than just send you one hat. But our man is amazing. He is a real Bitcoin guy, and he's a believer, and he pays with Bitcoin too. That's what we need from the OMI fam, man. You want somebody, man, like live the OMI life. Live the OMI life. You have OMI. You wanted to go to the moon. Don't look at David. Don't look at all these guys. They'll do their shit. What are you doing? Are you burning OMI somewhere? Like Emoji is. His music, when you listen to his music, half of it gets burned. So, and then when you pay people, especially in the community, why would you not use OMI? Right?
I'm keeping my OMI. Ain't nobody getting my OMI.
Yeah, yes, that's true too. But we need a creator. We need like this economy where, okay, what Jaco is to Bitcoin, you guys need to do for OMI. That kind of just inspires. That's inspiring, man. This man is very inspiring. Yeah. But anyway,
I hope that Microsoft votes to have like 5% or however much of their fund into Bitcoin. This way, Jaco will be happy. I think Amazon wants to do that now too, right? 5%.
I didn't know that, but anyway, just finish out the story. So the chip outside the brain, it's basically built like an Apple Vision Pro. So it's a goggle that you wear, and the chip is in the goggle, but not inside your brain, but it's reading your brain, and it can help blind people see.
That's so cool.
And that technology is not. They've got the FDA kind of permission for fast track, fast track meaning you don't have to go through every kind of hoopla there, especially since it's outside the brain, right? And what you're doing is enabling somebody who can't do something to do something. So as long as you're not destroying something, you're fine. But they've got that permission and stuff like that. I don't know if that company will make it, whether it'll ever become commercially viable, whether they'll be successful at correctly reading the signals and stuff, but they've made a lot of progress. Still a small company, but man, in that one also I'm super early. In fact, I'm earlier in that company than the other Paradigmics one. Hopefully, man. Hopefully someday blind people can see with a chip outside the brain, with the Apple Vision Pro like glasses, and that revolutionizes, mankind and blindness and partial blindness.
Yeah, I've heard Elon talk about that, where he says that essentially all these problems that are coded in your DNA essentially become a software problem, and you could just fix them with updates. It's like, oh my God, that
Only
proof
Elon
that
can think of something like that, man. That's so cool.
proof that we're in a simulation.
Well,
Or
they
more
made the car
evidence.
like that, right? If you have a Tesla, that's what it is. Your car is
Yeah.
just software, right?
Yeah,
It
it's a
just
computer on wheels.
downloads. There's, everything is like controlled by software.
Yeah. And
Even
then
the
over
speed,
there,
even speed is software. Did you know that?
speed. Well,
Yeah, my
yeah, I
Tesla.
guess there are
I
equations. Yeah.
basically, so I'll show you something. All right. So this is my Tesla app, right?
Sweet.
So now I'm going to go into upgrades, right? Software upgrades, and then it says buy.
Acceleration boost. Nice.
If I want my Tesla to go faster, I can buy the $2,000 acceleration boost. It's just to even imagine, conceive that you can charge for software to make your car go faster, which is, digital now. It's unbelievable, man.
They have that for even like the distance that it goes. Like they have it like, oh, if you want to unlock it, pay X amount of dollars, then your car can go for a longer time. Like, what? That is so wild.
Yeah. And yeah, it's just amazing, man. I'm such a huge fan of Elon. Even the I think I showed you guys last time, right? How my home works, right? The whole power and everything, how I consume from the battery. You saw that, right?
No.
So this is my home.
Oh yes. Yeah. The other day.
So basically, my battery charged, this here charged during the day, and it's feeding my house. So my house is consuming 0.5 kilowatts. My house is consuming 0.5 kilowatts, and my power wall is feeding it. And the grid, like if you look at the grid on the bottom,
yeah, not on the grid. It's all that.
I'm not on the grid, man.
You ever see Spaceballs?
No.
Where they go, oh, you've never seen Spaceballs?
No, I know. I should have seen it. When I was growing up, the VHS was watched 500 times, and somebody freaking screwed it up in my neighborhood, whatever. I never got to watch Spaceballs. I should watch it. Tell me about Spaceballs.
It's a spoof on Star Wars, and they instead of like Darth Vader, they have Lord Helmet. And Lord Helmet says like, oh, we need to catch Lone Star, because Lone Star has like this princess, and he's like, all right, we need to catch them. So we need to go. We have to go past light speed. We have to go past like ludicrous speed. And when eventually they go past ludicrous speed, and they go plaid. Yeah. Like,
yeah. That's really cool. By the way, you've got a Cybertruck coming? Is that correct?
I have. Well, I ordered two, but when I ordered them, I guess they started at like 69,000 or 7,000, whatever, and now they're like 90,000.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, that's kind of a lot. Even though I got full self-driving on them at I think like 7,000 each, but the Ernie's going to take one and I'll take the other, and he'll take that, like in a couple weeks, and then I'll take mine next year. So I do, but it'll be a bit longer than I expected.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right, that's pretty cool, man. I see a lot of Cybertrucks here, man. Those are pretty cool. Oh, Captain Kurt. Man, I just bought a couple of Tesla Cybertruck Hot Wheels. I was like, you bought a couple of Cybertrucks. I was going to say, Captain Kurt, you got to come over to my house and let's go for a drive in one of those things, man. But the Hot Wheels, we have to get the Hot Wheels too. Man, Captain Kurt's amazing. I love him and his wife. They're amazing people. They've been to my crib here. They partied with me. We hung out with Ron English. They actually went from New York Comic Con. They went to Ron's studio. So him and his wife, and Ron treated them so well. Him and his wife, oh my God, that was amazing. I saw some pictures, man. They're very cool.
Yeah. All right. Let's. Anything else before we bounce here?
No, I think it's good, man. I gotta eat a little bit as well. I will read the Brain Organoids. Is that what you said?
Yeah, brain organoid computers.
Brain organoid computers. I'll read about it, and watch Spaceballs. That's what I'm gonna do tonight.
Damn. So I guess in Canada, The weather was too cold and it shut down. Damn.
Oh,
But yeah,
wow.
that sounds like a great night. Spaceballs and some food. That sounds great. Everyone, shout out to the super chats. Everyone that is here. Everyone say bye bye to Dashi.
Hi, Dashi.
He has 700 people.